Hello guys, welcome to the stream. Let me make sure I put my necklace on. I don't have my jewelry on. I just showered. I worked out this afternoon. I woke up early. So yeah, I woke up early. I worked out. I never work out this early. I don't even really wake up this early, especially on the weekends unless I have to, but yeah, so I did that and I feel so productive, guys. Like, I feel so productive. Oh shoot, hold up. So yeah, I have my hot cocoa. Like I told you guys, I was like, you guys know when I play this game, I always like, I don't know, I like feeling like those bitches on YouTube that like, that's like, oh, this is my morning routine. I wake up and I write in my journal for 15 minutes and then I go and I make me some tea and then I write in my planner and I read my book. Like that's how this game makes me want to be. So I have my, you could see the steam a little bit. Like, I don't know if you guys can see that, it's piping hot. God damn. But yeah, I meant to take this out of the wall because I hate when that's in the background. You know what? We're about to zoom in a little bit. We don't need to see none of that. All right. I also am trying to eat a little healthier because you guys know I be eating my candy and shit. So I'm trying to like not do that as much, and I'm getting some help. So I have my mixed nuts here. I have my mixed nuts. So yeah, so basically I thought that this was going to be, because if you guys have been paying attention to my freaking community tab, I've been preaching how this is gonna be the freaking finale. I've been preaching. I'm like, guys, we're finishing this game Saturday. I'm so excited. We're gonna see how everything ends. Somebody's about to get friend zoned, cough cough. Like, you know, I've been hyping it up. And then I'm like, a few hours ago, I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me just see where I'm at in the game. But I would have had to go to my last stream to see where I'm at in the game because we left off in the middle of a scene, or we left off when a new scene was about to start. So I can't go to the main menu or the menu that shows like the next story. I can't see that. So, and I didn't go to my last stream to see what it was either. So I checked. And I clicked like the settings or something, and then something was like, oh yeah, like there's 2 more DLCs that you have not installed. And then I went to Steam and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's 2 more parts that I don't even have. So I'm just like, there's 2 more parts that I don't even have. So I'm just kind of like, we're not gonna finish this today. And I thought about it, I'm like, yo, we haven't even started like the grown-up stories. I think this is like the prologue that we're on right now. So there's some stuff that, you know, there's some stuff that we're this is not going to be the finale. Let me just tell you guys that right now, because I might do like 3 stories and then that shit takes like 4 hours. So yeah, we're definitely not finishing this game today, unfortunately, but that just means that there's more for us to play. So how exciting. Okay, so let me get make sure everything's good here. Okay, Okay, I'm gonna get the game started. Also, in the middle of the game while we're playing, I might go get some more hot cocoa. I also have my my candle lit. I was like, I want to light my candle so it can like smell like cookies in here while I'm reading everything. Also, speaking of reading, this is a book that I like to read. I need to be more consistent with it, but it is called The Daily Stoic. 366 Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living. And I kind of want to read today's little passage. Let's see what it says, because this book kind of keeps me on track with some things. I'm like, you know what? That is so right. Let's see here. Today is February 18th. February 18th. Let's see what it says. Okay. We're going to read it, guys. Let's just see what it says. So it says February 18th because it's by day. So it says, prepare for the storm is the title. It says, this is the true athlete. This is a quote, by the way. This is the true athlete, the person in rigorous training against false impressions. Remain firm. You who suffer, don't be kidnapped by your impressions. The struggle is great, the task divine, to gain mastery, freedom, happiness, and tranquility. And that is a quote by Epictetus. So then this is the passage. It says, Epictetus also used the metaphor of a storm, saying that our impressions are not unlike extreme weather that can catch us and whirl us about. When we get worked up or passionate about an issue, we can relate. But let's think about the role of the weather in modern times. Today, we have forecasters and experts who can fairly accurately predict storm patterns. Today, we're defenseless against a hurricane only if we refuse to prepare or heed the warnings. If we don't have a plan, if we never learned how to put up the storm windows, we will be at the mercy of these external and internal elements. We're still puny human beings compared with 100-mile-per-hour winds, but we have the advantage of being able to prepare, being able to struggle against them in a new way. And I just believe that passage is saying, be prepared for any hardships that may come your way. That way when they get there, you will have your shit together. I just like reading those. I wish I could get more consistent with them and actually read them every day, because they set you straight. My skin is popping with this natural sunlight. Okay, I like this, guys. Okay, let's get into this freaking game though. I just wanted to read that. Since we're reading, why not do a little, passage from my book? Okay, Our Life. Let's go ahead and turn this music off. All right, I might have to move myself though. I will say that. And then let me make sure my volume is good, because I am not hearing anything right now. Oh, it's probably because I'm not clicked on it maybe. All right. Yeah, I'm still... Oh, you know what? I think I turned off the, Did I turn off the music? Oh no, my thing was just really low. Okay. I'm a mess right now. Why did I hear my other music so loud though? Okay. This is fine. This is fine right here. Okay. So before we get started, hold on. Let me talk to you guys about this for a second. You guys are probably wondering, girl, what is your title about? What is your title about? Who's getting friend zoned? Because, there's different people in this game. There's Cove, there's Derek. Those are, I guess, the two love interests I've noticed. But, okay, so this character, Rain, which I realized that my character from Our Life, I use the same name as my Red Dead character, except this one is actually spelled R-A-I-N, and then in Red Dead it's spelled R-A-I-N-E. I told you guys I'm obsessed with that name. I completely forgot that my name was Rain in this game too. But I just want to tell you guys, like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys, and I've said it before in the other episodes. Okay, my character is an extension of myself, right? My character is kind of based off of me. That's the person I'm controlling. I'm not feeling Cove that much, like, in that way. I'm not feeling him like that. Like, maybe that might change this part, but like, I'm really not feeling him. And I know I was kind of looking at the last episode just to kind of refresh my memory a little bit, and I remember Derek had said, like, oh, in 10 years, if we're both still single, we should get together and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because Cove is so like, and I'm not knocking him at all for being all whiny, but like he's a little bit too whiny for me sometimes. But he is older now. Maybe he's a little bit different. But like, you know, when we were kids, it was kind of like whatever. Like he's just a kid, and we kept getting kind of older, and like he still has that like whiny like vibe to him. And I know he's been through some things and stuff, but like I like him enough as a friend, but like I just don't see us like getting together and being something. Like I just don't see that being the case. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll see what happens in this part, but I just want to give you guys a heads up because I'm not feeling him in that way. I know the game kind of is like wanting me to feel him in that way, but I don't. I still don't. That's why I think when you go from chapter to chapter and you could choose like if you're fond of him or if you have a crush or love, whatever, I think I just kept it at fond because I'm fond of him, but I don't feel like that towards him. I'm just being honest here. I just don't feel like that towards him. Why do I have my camera down here? I don't really remember why I had put my camera down here. I wonder if I put it up here, if it like, oh, you know what? I think if I put it up here, it covers people's faces sometimes, because sometimes people will be over in this area. So I think I'll just stay over here in my little corner. And if I put myself over here, I'll be covering up the first part of the sentence, and that's annoying. So yeah, I think I'll just stay over here in my little corner. I'll stay in my corner. I could make myself small so that I'm not like, I feel like that's too small though. I feel like you guys might rather see my expressions a little better, but yeah, I think this is good. Well, maybe a tad bit bigger. Maybe a tad bit. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm moving the game. I'm waiting for my hot cocoa to cool off because I ain't trying to burn no tongue off. Hi, Soldier. How are you? All right. Bro, what? I just read this. See, bro, I don't know what happened before this, and I'm so sorry about that. But, like, this is what I'm talking about. He burrowed his face against your neck. His shed tears damp on your skin. Like, he's already crying. I don't even know what happened before this. And, like, I'm not saying guys can't cry. Like, I'm cool with that, you know? You're chilling? Cool. Happy Saturday, Soldier. I'm fine with guys crying. I don't have a problem with that. But, like, you guys get what I'm saying here? What is the log? Okay, let's go up a little bit. Is this like one scene? I remember we saw Shiloh. Shiloh didn't remember who Lizzie was. I remember all that. I said, wow, Shiloh grew up to be dumb. That's so mean. Okay, this is when he was on my windowsill after I decorated my room. He had just came back home. I think he was visiting his mom, maybe. I left my bags in your backyard. I hope that's all right. Blah, 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 blah. A contented sigh. Then closing the bag. Pulling you into the air as you were about equal height. Okay. How was the trip? I had a great time. Cove told you about how his trip back had gone. His mom was doing really well. She had a project in the works that she was really excited about. Okay. I should probably get my stuff and see Dad. You want to come with me? You know I do. Cool. Okay, I got a piggyback ride because that's what we used to do. I'm not planning on walking there. Okay, he crouched down. I got on his back. You hadn't remembered the gift you prepared for when he got back. Then I gave him a dolphin-shaped balloon, which was a throwback to our first... So he's got emotional from the balloon. Okay, that makes sense. Do you need to cry? Okay, so he's crying about a balloon right now. It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's just funny that, like, I said all that stuff and I didn't even remember this scene, and we come back into the game and he's already crying about something. But we're not going to make fun of his emotions. We're gonna give him a chance, guys. We're gonna give him a chance. We're not about to sit here and be laughing at him. Hold on, let me make sure my thingy majigger isn't on. Hold on, because there is something that... Hold up, let me see here. I think I might... Okay, never mind. Yes, Elsie, he's crying over a balloon right now. But we're not gonna laugh at him, guys. We're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I understand why he got kind of emotional and teary-eyed here. We're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and just go with it, and we're gonna see what happens throughout this part. Okay, he burrowed his face against your neck, his shed tears damp on your skin. You hugged him back. You're such a crybaby. This game is so funny, I'm sorry. You didn't need words as you quietly accepted his appreciation. I'm not even gonna say anything. Cove let out a steady breath. It was far removed from the shaky gasps that had accompanied his sniffles. The tears had dried. His eyes were a little red, but open and at peace once again. He smiled, fully recovered from the emotion that had overcome him. You're really, seriously too nice to me. You smiled back. I don't think there's such a thing as too nice when it comes to you. Oh, look at his scar. I forgot about that. Cove brushed his hand against the pale ghost of a scar on his arm. Bro, I wasn't even looking at that sentence. I'm psychic. He was at a loss for what to do now. The clock ticked away, counting the seconds of silence. Once you'd had a chance to settle your thoughts, you figured you'd tell Cove the intriguing news. I meant to tell you earlier, I saw Shiloh today. Oh yeah, I forgot that Cove knows Shiloh, because him and Shiloh, he didn't like Shiloh. He was actually really mean to him. Huh? Shiloh? Cove repeated the name, his expression blank. Not you not remembering him. From when we were kids. Cove pondered for a moment, then snapped his fingers. Oh, he was the freckly boy from that first summer, right? The one who moved? I met a guy named Shiloh. He looked just like the Shiloh we knew, plus however many years. But he didn't remember me and just left. Cove frowned. That's, I don't know. Too bad I missed it. Too bad I missed it, though you knew him better than I did. That was definitely true. Not only had Cove known Shiloh for a shorter period of time, but he and Shiloh had never quite gotten along. Not that they were enemies either, just kids who were only ever together because of other people they both knew. I wonder what Shiloh's up to these days. I don't have any idea. He didn't say much. Oh, well, that was everything you had on that news item, so you moved on to the next big update. Also, you know the mean old neighbors, the ones who would always yell at us? He cringed, recalling those particular memories of back in the day was not pleasant, even for someone as nostalgic as him. Yeah? They're not coming. They didn't rent the condo this summer. Yeah, it did say that before this part. It said that they didn't rent the condo again. The people that lived on our street, or they would come every summer, and they were kind of like mean. They didn't like kids. Let me see if this has cooled off a bit. I think it probably has. Yeah, so they're not back this time, which is kind of interesting. Cove's jaw dropped. You didn't blame him. The elderly couple had been an institution for as far back as you could remember, long predating Cove's arrival. Even now, as a teenager, you found your neck pricking as you walked by their condo, half expecting a scolding for breathing the wrong way in the vicinity of their vacation home. It was strange to think of that coming to an end. Wow. Cove blinked. Bruh, I forgot that we're teenagers. I forgot that we're still teenagers, because Cove looks like a grown man when he was 13. So I'm sitting here thinking we're like, we're much older, but I think he's like the only one that kind of looks that way. And then Lizzie's already older than us. She's already moved out. Cove blinked, clearly struggling with the idea in the same way you had. I didn't see that coming. People being gone, people coming back. It feels like I've missed a lot. This has been a busy summer already. Well, you haven't missed the Fireflies. They haven't shown up yet. Well, that's something. And we'd better not get left behind. There's still stuff to do. You nodded. As soon as you'd left your house, Cove bent down to let you climb back onto his back for the last part of the journey. It seemed that no sooner had the night begun than it was already at an end, and the dawn of a new day was soon upon you. The next morning, your belly was full of breakfast and you were in a pleasant mood. You hoped the rest of the day followed suit. Later, you were meeting up with your friends. Cove, Miranda, and Terry to go into town. So let me give you guys a recap for those of you that may not remember. So Miranda is she was the girl whose birthday party we went to where Jeremy showed up and was being an asshole and cussing us out and stuff. Miranda's the girl whose birthday party it was, and she was pretty cool. Terry is this new girl that I don't think we've seen yet. She's a new girl that's new to town. Her and Cove became really good friends for their love of because of their love for the ocean and stuff like that. So they're really good friends, and apparently Terry already knew Miranda beforehand too. So we've all kind of formed our own group because of that. So yeah, it was all, maybe Terry can take Cove. Let me stop this. Let me just play. It was all on short notice, but that was because everyone was just so excited that Cove was finally back home. Having a nice daydream? You blinked, pushing all your thoughts away and returning to reality. Your mom was watching you with a teasing smile. So, what's on the agenda today? I'm meeting up with some people. Well, I hope you and your friends have fun. Don't get into too much trouble. She winked at you. You knew both of your moms wanted you to enjoy every bit of the summer before all the big changes started. I'll try.
That'd be great.
But before you go gallivanting around the town, could you bring the mail in? I'm finishing up putting the dishes away over here. All right. Thanks very much. But your dad keep getting sexy. I don't want Cove. I want his father. His dad just gets hotter every fucking year. This man doesn't age. He... Okay, let me stop. As soon as you were outside your front door, you couldn't help but see Cove and his dad standing around in the road. They noticed you too.
Hey.
Hey there, Rain. Hi, good timing. You should come join us. You waved at him, you hugged him, you gave him a high five, you gave him a noogie, you ruffled his hair. Am I hugging the dad? Or am I hugging Cove? Oh my gosh, I wanted to hug your dad, Cove. Gosh. Okay, let me stop. Comfortably, Cove hugged you back. It was quick and familiar from all the years of knowing each other. You noticed Mr. Holden was taking in the scene of you and Cove with a self-satisfied smile. Boy, I was trying to hug you, not him. No offense, Cove. Cove looks pissed. I think he can hear what I'm saying. Cove followed your line of sight and shot his dad an unimpressed look. For a moment, Mr. Holden seemed like he had a thought dancing on the tip of his tongue, but he decided to keep it to himself. So, what are you up to today? As far as I know, nothing too much. Me and Cove are meeting some friends in town later. Sounds like a plan to me. Yawning, Mr. Holden stretched his arms over his head. My boy and I have been waiting around to see what the new neighbors are like. It was definitely his idea. Oh, we have new neighbors. I don't know how you're not interested in this. It's big news. Besides, it'd only be polite to greet the new folks in town. Maybe it'll be a single dad and his son. You've been here too long. If seeing a new person rent a condo is what you consider an exciting development. Yes, I'm dying to see the newcomers. Your response was just a shrug. I don't want to meet them. Well, anyone has to be better than the last tenants. Oh my gosh, what if it's somebody we know, like from before? What if it's like Jeremy or somebody? I don't know about this, guys. I'll just say this. Look at their faces. Cove snorted some airy laughter at the suggestion.
Oh?
You think we'll have some competition? For several months, Mr. Holden was unable to, or moments, not months, moments, Mr. Holden was unable to answer. He was still chuckling when he put his hands on his hips and tried to compose himself.
Nah.
Absolutely not. We're the #1 father-son duo in this town, and no one's changing that. Mr. Holden took one more glance at the currently vacant building and sighed dramatically. When he turned back to you and Cove, his whole body seemed deflated. There's no sign of them, and I still need to head over to work soon. Cove gave his dad a few reassuring pats on the back. Okay, I promise to keep an eye out. I can text you if anything happens. Really?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, only until I have to meet up with Terry and Miranda. Would that still work? With a wide grin breaking out on his face, Mr. Holden looked absolutely thrilled to have his nosiness enabled. That works. This man being nosy as hell, trying to see who the new neighbors are. He moved to firmly place both hands over Cove's shoulders, fixing his child with a firm stare. Son, you are my true ally in this world. Mr. Holden stood up straighter, letting Cove go. He looked reinvigorated. Okay, With that settled, I'll go make some money. That's always been the one thing I do best. Mr. Holden headed off to the garage with a big wave goodbye. Cove smiled the whole time you both watched his dad leave. You really liked Mr. Holden. Mr. Holden was one of your favorite people. Cove's dad was kind of a bother. You had mixed feelings on Mr. Holden. He's probably one of my favorite people. He's really cool. And so sexy. Oh my god. He always tried his best and was honestly just great. As soon as he was out of sight, Cove sighed lightly. He really is a good guy though. Like, he's been nothing but great to everybody. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, just not looking forward to waiting. Guess I'll be hanging around the street a while. Good luck. See you later. Bye. I'll stick around to see the new neighbor. I can wait with you. Why don't I stay to see the new neighbor and keep you company? I'll just say I'll stick around. Curiosity about the new tenant was getting the better of you. Your mind was already swirling with too many thoughts about what they might be like. Really? I can't leave until I find out what they at least look like. Cove nodded at that. You noticed that he seemed much happier about his task now that he wasn't going to be waiting alone. Cove put his hands on your shoulders, gripping you solidly but not enough to hurt. His eyes fixated on you just as firmly. He was serious. Rain, you're my true ally in this world. That got a fair moment of chuckles from you. He grinned, the stoicism fading into amusement. Stoicism, the Daily Stoic, which is the book that I read to you guys right before we started.
Thank you.
Oh, his voice is... Why is his voice like... You know what? You're always good to me. You're lucky to have me. It's no problem. I can't help myself. You laughed. You shook your head. You simply shrugged. I'll just say it's no problem. I don't know about that, but I'm just happy you're always here. And then he let go of you. Cove stepped over to his front porch steps, lazily taking a seat and leaning back on his arms. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Our watch begins. Nodding in agreement, you joined Cove on the front porch steps. You both sat there in a comfortable familiarity as you settled in for the waiting game on the new tenants. The neighborhood was quiet, and you sighed contentedly, closing your eyes and feeling the light breeze. Eventually, you both perked up at the sound of a car. A taxi followed the noise, turning onto your street. Cove's eyebrows raised at that sight, and he sat up straight on the stoop.
Oh?
This has to be them, right? Yeah, it's gotta be. Oh my gosh, why am I getting like a feeling, guys? I'm getting a feeling right now. It's gotta be somebody we know. Now that they were here, you couldn't help but feel just a bit curious. You wondered what kind of person would be living in the neighborhood for the summer. The taxi pulled to a stop as you expected in front of the new empty condo. It was on the same side of the street as your house, a few buildings further up. Without getting to his feet, Cove tried leaning and tilting his head to get a view of the passenger door as it opened. The single occupant exited the cab. Huh? You could feel what Cove was in that moment. After the last renters, this new visitor was definitely not exactly what you'd expected. Oh my gosh. It's either somebody we know. Could it be Lizzie? Could Lizzie be getting her own little place here? I'm trying to think. Could it be Shiloh's peoples? Could it be somebody completely new that just wasn't what they were expecting? Maybe. Could it be his mom? Guys, I don't know. I have no idea, but we're about to find out. Bruh, that's Jeremy. Is this Jeremy? No, Jeremy's hair was green. I don't know, but who this? Collab. Who is this guy? Oh my god. I don't know. Rain got some options. It was a young man, had to be close to your own age. He was dressed fully in an eclectic black, white, and gray outfit. Even his side-swooping hair matched the scheme. I don't think this is Jeremy, though, because Jeremy had green hair. Unless the color of his hair is different. I don't know. But who this? The only other pop of color was from something that couldn't easily be fashioned into submission. A pair of dark brown eyes, which you caught when he looked over at his audience. Hello, folks. Who might you be? We're the neighbors. The smile already prominent on his face curled further. It was cocky, but you didn't get the impression it meant something adverse. Hallelujah. You and Cove shared a familiar look with one another, bewildered even further. The color-coordinated man left it there, however, and with a firm click, he shut the door of his ride. Then he turned his back to you to retrieve a large, unsurprisingly black suitcase out of the trunk. Continuing on with his own business, he strolled forward and lightly tapped on the driver's side window with his knuckles, asking for them to roll it down. When it opened, he leaned down and rested his arm on the edge. You assumed he was thanking the driver for getting him there, considering he slipped them a tip during the brief chat. They both shook hands, and then he pushed himself up and away from the taxi with both arms, giving the driver room to leave. The taxi pulled away, rolling carefully down the road and out of sight around a corner. The new renter had officially arrived. He left his suitcase on the ground, out of the way of the street, and sauntered over your way with the confidence of someone who had been invited to join. Cove finally stood up to greet this person. You followed suit. Why he look so,
Excellent.
The guy said excellent. He said, I'm Baxter Ward. It's excellent to meet you, neighbors. Baxter looked like he gonna be killing somebody or something. Okay. He said, excellent. What the hell? You were standing on the side he was approaching from. When Baxter got close enough, he offered his hand to you first. You shook it, you offered to low-five him, you kept your arms open to offer a hug instead. I ain't giving him no hug. I don't know this man. I'll shake it. I hope you wash your hands, because guys don't be liking to wash their hands that much. Baxter grips your hand firmly to give a satisfying shake. Hi, Baxter. I'm Rain. Hey, Rain. I'm quite keen on getting to know you better this summer. You know what? I gotta change my voice for him. I need to change my voice. I need to switch my voice up for these characters, because Cove has a very oh my gosh, Rain, thank you. That's how he sounds. This guy, hey Rain, I'm quite keen on getting to know you better this summer. That's how he sounds. So I gotta talk like that. We could be good friends. From the other side, Cove made a sarcastically amused scoff. Not Cove getting jealous. And you are? He lifted his hand out to Cove next. Cove shook his hand, still eyeing Baxter carefully. I'm Cove. Baxter's whole demeanor lit up for unknown reasons. His eyes shone as he studied Cove a moment.
Really?
Now wait, is that a nickname or your real name? It's just my name. Cove spoke mildly, having given that explanation many times in the past, but it clearly charmed Baxter all the same. He tossed his head to one side with a laugh. Your parents knew exactly what they were doing. I can't imagine a more fitting name for the face I'm seeing. Cove, that's gorgeous.
What?
It's really not. No, I agree, it suits you. Hey, only I get to fluster him. That's a lot considering you're talking to a stranger, Baxter. You didn't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I stand out of this shit. After a noticeable pause, Baxter caught on that he made you both uncomfortable. I'm sorry. It wasn't intended to mean more than it did. I like your name, but you don't have to mind that. I'm patently against stepping on anyone's toes. He chuckled to himself. It seemed like there was some extra meaning hidden there in his words, and you noticed that Cove raised an eyebrow, picking up on that too. Baxter didn't even open his eyes to see your faces to know he had some filling to do. He stood up straighter, striking a slight pose with the position of his feet. I'm a ballroom dancer, hence the phrasing. Oh, I don't know much about dancing, but that's pretty cool. It's not hard once you get the basics down. Cove didn't look convinced at all. Baxter took that as a cue to keep talking.
Well.
He grinned in a way that was rapidly becoming familiar to you. If either of you are ever looking for a partner, I'm available. Cove frowned at the overt forwardness. Thanks. I'll pass, I think. I'll take you up on that offer sometime. I'd rather not. I could probably show you some moves. You didn't answer the question. I'll just be nice. Excellent. He's kind of creeping me out. Excellent. He's kind of creeping me out, like dead ass. Oh, you can? I'll look forward to that then. After that, there was a lull in conversation and Cove attempted to fill it.
So...
What made you decide on Sunset Bird? Oh yes, well my parents rented a condo so I had a place to stay while I'm off for a semester from college and not living in the dorms. There was a playful glint in Baxter's eyes as he continued.
Honestly.
Ideally, they wanted to send me somewhere that wasn't too exciting, but lucky for me, they picked the wrong street, considering the two of you live here. Cove was practically reeling over how Baxter found a way to fit comments like that into every single topic thus far. Cove is just not here for this.
Mm.
Why do you keep doing that? You don't know us, but you talk like you already do. Cove spoke firm yet genuinely confused, and Baxter smiled cautiously. I don't feel the need to keep words of praise to myself, and when I say something, I mean it.
See?
Plus, what's the point of spending my off semester alone? The best part of being somewhere new was getting to interact with new people. Am I honestly the first person who's acknowledged you're attractive and intriguing people? True, you're hidden away in a tiny tourist trap, but still. Baxter crossed his arms. After studying your faces a few more seconds, he decided to continue. Am I only trying to score a hookup or get a romantic fling started by saying those things? No, that isn't the point of speaking well of others. I was raised better than that. Though, would I be fussed if that's what my words led to? Also, no. Okay, you need to chill out. Like, this man is a hornball. This man is a hornball, guys. I don't know how I feel about him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I am flexible, not a surprise. I can back off the lines if you don't like the attention, but I would like to be friends if we can. Cove wasn't sure how to respond. He glanced at you, and he continued to look at your face when he spoke. Thanks for answering. I don't think I'm interested in that. Maybe not the friend thing, but the other part. It doesn't bother me. I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that with me. I'm finding it pretty entertaining. You probably annoy a lot of people. You stood there unsure of how to react. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I'm baffled. I'm speechless. Baxter looked at you and smiled apologetically. I'll keep it in check. Shifting his weight to his other foot, Baxter tried to move forward. So, since you were both already out here, did my arrival interrupt anything? Definitely not. I ain't trying to throw shade. You smiled and silently agreed. You laughed in a conspiratorial way. You looked away nervously. You told Baxter that you were going to wait to see who was going to move in. Yeah, I'll just be honest. That condo hasn't had a new renter in my entire life. We had to see who was moving in now. Baxter laughed at that, immensely pleased with your response. I'm getting a reputation in this town already. Not bad. Well, if either of you are free, I'd be thrilled to hang out this summer, but we can save the schedule talk for later. I should get my things inside. He gave a small nod of the head and flashed you both a dazzling smile.
Goodbye.
Goodbye for today. Bye. Cove gave a small wave as well. Bye, Baxter. See you. Baxter then turned on his heels and strolled back to his suitcase, picking it up and bringing it to his condo. You and Cove were silent as Baxter unlocked the door and disappeared inside the house. With him completely out of the scene, Cove let out a long breath.
Well,
I don't know how I'm gonna explain that guy to my dad. You burst into a fit of laughter trying to imagine the conversation. At least the job is done. We saw the new neighbor and now we can go meet up with Terry and Miranda. Yeah, we should get going. You gave Baxter's condo one last glance over your shoulder. You were looking forward to seeing more of him. You thought he was charming. You were not interested in him. You weren't sure how to feel. You thought he gave a pretty bad first impression. You decided he definitely wasn't someone you liked. I'm not sure how to feel, honestly. Honestly, you didn't know if you would ever come to a conclusion about him. Baxter was just so different. Turning your attention back to Cove, you pushed all your thoughts of Baxter aside. You both started making your way towards town. Yeah, Baxter was not what I was expecting. Like, when I saw him out of the car, like, when I saw him getting out of the car versus after the whole conversation had ended, two totally different people, in my opinion. Because that's not what I was imagining. A little while later, you and Cove reached a main street in town. All of a sudden, you stopped walking. What's wrong? I think I heard my phone. You dug your cell phone out and looked at it with a satisfied grin. There was a new message. You opened the new text from Miranda and all you saw was, I can see you. Immediately from where you stood, you started swiveling your head around. You couldn't spot Miranda anywhere, but she did send you more messages. Haha, I see you looking. Randy? I like that name though. It's actually cute. Really, Randy? Oh my god. The message was sent and you were back to looking around, scanning for any sign of movement and familiar faces, but they were still invisible. Cove looked at you carefully, raising an eyebrow. Miranda, come on out. You sighed at the ridiculousness. You burst into laughter at her antics. You sent your own joking text. I want to send a text. If you want to keep hiding, Cove and I can just go do our own stuff without you, is what you decided on. You smirked, hitting send on that message. Cove looked at you curious, raising an eyebrow. What is happening? Before you could even begin explaining anything to Cove, you both snapped your attention to the yelling from across the street. And there you saw Miranda and Terry coming out from behind the backside wall of the grocery store. They both started waving widely to draw even more attention to themselves. I don't know why, but with Terry, I'm imagining a girl with like green or like teal or blue or like turquoise hair with like bright eyes. That's like maybe kind of slender and tall. That's kind of what I'm imagining. Cove took a step in their direction. Grinning, he put his hands around his mouth to better project his message across the street. Hey! Laughing and arm, the girl stopped only to look both ways and then rushed across the empty street.
Hi.
Hi, I hope you weren't waiting too long. She still looks the same. She's cute.
Hey, buddies.
Okay, I was wrong about the... Okay, her eyes are bright, but I thought they were going to be like blue. I had a feeling she might be black. The hair isn't the color I thought it was going to be, but she is tall and slender, so I was right on the money with that. Hey, buddies. She's cute. Hi. Hi, that joke was not funny. Damn, that's a rude response. I'm amazed. How'd you appear out of nowhere like that? Hey, I'm so happy to see you two. I thought you both knew better than to jaywalk. I'm gonna just say that. Even if it was a small open road in a small... Even if it was an open road in a small town, it was still illegal. They took matching tones with an apologetic lilt. I'm just joking, guys.
Me too.
Sorry, Rain. Me too, sorry. Alright, though you shouldn't do it again. I did not mean it like that. I meant it as a joke. From this moment forward, we'll use the crosswalks. Cross our hearts. Terry then closed the distance between her and Cove and crushed him in a painfully tight hug. You're finally here. It's been so long. What took you? He did his best to eke out a reply with his chest being compressed.
Sorry.
Eventually, she let him go. Terry looked at him with a beaming smile, but Cove was distracted, rubbing his arms. Standing there, Miranda shifted her weight to her other hip. She watched Cove patiently with a bashful smile. Welcome back. Thanks. It finally felt official. Everyone was together in one place. From here, you weren't sure how often you would have another afternoon like this again. They didn't either.
So?
Cove? Terry poked Cove square in the chest. You're gonna have to get me your schedule by this time yesterday.
No way.
Not really possible, Terry, but I can say as soon as I know. So far, work hasn't said anything, but I can tell you I'm busy with Orca activities. When Cove wasn't at his part-time job or pursuing his athletic interests, he volunteered for the Ocean Restoration California affiliation, Orca. The group focused on cleaning up beaches and removing pollution from the ocean. Cove always loved the sea. It didn't surprise you one bit when he started getting involved with them. It was Cove's activity. You joined Orca too after learning of it. You were an Orca member and introduced Cove to... That's it. I was about to say that's his thing, but I don't mind doing that. Their big smash event for the year is coming right up, isn't it? Yeah, that's not that much more to do before. There's not that much more to do before then, but I'm kind of looking forward to the fundraising push. Hopefully we can pull it off. If anyone can do it, it's you two, and even if it really goes bad, or goes really bad, it'll still look good on a college application at least. That's true. Hey, guess what else? We don't have to stand here to say stuff. Let's go. I would like a meal now. Perking up, Cove nodded in agreement. Yeah, for sure. The four of you headed into town, happily chatting the whole way. The only decision left to make was where exactly to stop and eat. This is interesting because, like, have we ever even seen this grocery store? Like, I feel like we have, but I don't know. The rest of the afternoon and evening passed by in a blink of an eye. When night fell, it was time to head home, and you parted ways with Miranda and Terry. Damn, we didn't get to hang out with them much at all. Like, I thought there was going to be more dialogue. You and Cove reached your neighborhood without event. It was late enough that your out-of-the-way street was dark and silent. You were walking Tiredly, after such a long day, you strolled with a skip in your step. You ambled along. Cove was giving you a piggyback ride home. I will say this. Days like today, filled with good food and good company, left you feeling energized. I should have said I was tired, honestly. You walked alongside Cove. You peered at his face out of the corner of your eyes. You wondered why he felt so distant to you. It was out of character. Here he go. For a while, Cove silently stared ahead and left you alone with your own thoughts. It surprised you when you did hear his voice all of a sudden. He still wouldn't look at you. It feels weird coming back to the neighborhood and trying to get into things like they're the same, and they're not. They've changed. They're still changing. Your mouth felt uncomfortably dry all of a sudden. It was true. The things that kept the people you knew together were starting to disappear. Each person had to make their own priorities and their own path now that it wasn't set for them. You thought about your own immediate future. You were still set on that for yourself. You wanted to go to school full-time, to go to school part-time, to work full-time, to work part-time, to focus on time that's not school or work. Probably this. And that was the basics. For your education, you thought you'd attend a community college, attend a public university, go to a private college, join a trade school, take online classes. Probably public university. I wouldn't mind taking online classes too, and then that's probably it. For yourself, you wanted to work on self-improvement on your own, take some time just to relax. This. Well, both, whatever. And for that, you wanted to stay local, go to a different part of the state, go out of state, go abroad, travel around to different places. Stay local. I'm a basic bitch. It'd all be happening so soon. You already applied to schools. You started to prepare for what was coming. I did that. And you'd been open about your situation and everyone knew. You'd only spoke with close family and those you were close to, like Cove. You kept it all to yourself. I'll say this. Now you wondered what Cove had in mind. You'd heard him consider some things for his future, but it was never anything that would have counted as a real plan. Making it back home, you both stopped in the middle of the street. Cove sighed. Cove looked at the ground for a moment. His mouth trembled, trying to settle on the right words to say. So, you're planning on doing self-improvement and stuff in Sunset Bird? Yeah. Cove closed his eyes and nodded while he composed his thoughts. He looked at you when he lifted his head. I decided on something. Well, kind of. He smiled slightly and rubbed his arm, and then his expression grew more serious. I'm not going to decide on a school or a career. Not this summer. I'm going to stay here, at least in Sunset Bird. I'll probably move out of my dad's place. I'll keep working my job, keep doing my volunteer stuff and everything else.
I don't know.
Maybe I'll know what I want for myself by fall or next year. Maybe I'll never have a plan. Life will continue on with whatever's happening. I'm not going to crush myself trying to have everything figured out by a timeline that someone else has set. I just can't do it. There's nothing wrong with that. His brow furrowed and his tone was tense. It was clear how much expectations were weighing on him.
I guess
it'll be me and you right here for a while longer. His eyes were glossy. You weren't going to be separated, and that meant a great deal to him. Your plan sounds very you. You nodded understandingly. You were glad the two of you would be in Sunset Bird together. Somehow, I'm not surprised things turned out like this. You weren't sure how to react. I'll say this. Elated, you smiled. Cove looked relieved that you were happy with this turn of events. I'll see you tomorrow, Rain. I'll see you. Night. He pulled you into an unexpected hug. It knocked the breath out of you, yet couldn't have been a more reassuring feeling. You returned his embrace and stayed that way for as long as you could.
Good night.
Night. He finally let go, giving you another smile. Then Cove started walking away, but you remained there, frozen in the middle of the street. You watched him and wondered how many more times will he be able to say that he'll see you tomorrow. You hoped for countless more times. Finally, you turned towards your own house. You vowed to yourself that you would make the most of every moment you had this summer. Okay, so we haven't done any of these, and I thought, I'm hilarious. I thought that we were gonna, this was the finale. I forgot we haven't done any of these. So, yeah. Let me see. What was it that I really wanted to show you guys? Was it the load? I think it was on the main menu. Tutorial. Oh, look at this. Why is this one locked? Baxter. Baxter's a love interest too. We're not even on step 4. I didn't even know there was a step 4. Yeah, we got a lot more to go, guys. Bruh, I need to change how he looked. How about that? So I can change how he looks at any time. Should I change how he looks? Is that bad? I feel like that's bad. I don't want to bother him though. I want him to just stay. Like I've been doing that the whole time, so I'm gonna just leave him. I'm just leave him. DLC info. This is what. See, look. I have all the voice names DLC. This, and then this stuff I don't have. Cove wedding DLC and Derek. Alright, let me continue. Bro, did that not save? Guys, it didn't freaking save! Okay, whatever. You know what we're gonna do right now? I'm about to speed run this shit. And just talk to you guys. So how are we? I mean, it's really just Rissy in here anyways, I think. But,
Huh?
I'm just speed running this right now.
Oh.
Y'all gonna hear them talking and shit.
All right. That'd be great.
Click,
Hey.
click, click, click. Oh, wait, shit. God damn. God damn, go back. I clicked something wrong.
So. I don't know.
Not me not saving. Hello?
Of course.
How did it not save though? That's kind of weird. Because it was on the screen where I select a new story, so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Guys, I really don't want to hear Baxter saying weird shit again, but I can wait with you. Wait, what did I say? I can wait with you. I think that's what I said.
Me too.
Oh, I don't even think I had said that
Thank you.
before. It's no problem. I can't help myself. You shook your head. I said that before. Then this boy about to get up out of the car and be saying excellent and all that shit. I'm about to eat my mixed nuts. This man said hallelujah. I thought he was excited because we were around his age, guys.
Excellent.
That was not the case. This man trying to bend us over. That's crazy.
Really?
What?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Well, excellent.
So.
Excellent.
Honestly. See? Hmm? Goodbye.
Well.
I'm not gonna say that jaywalking thing again, because they took that seriously.
Hey,
That was not what I meant to say. I thought it was like joking.
Sorry.
So?
No way.
Hey!
That was quick. Okay. I'm gonna say I'm tired this time. You yawn, stretching your arms over your head. It was taking a lot of mental focus to keep up and walk alongside Cove. As you do your rear. Okay. Go to school. That was the basics. Attend a public university. Take online classes. Stay local. You had already applied. Spoke to family in Cove about it.
I mean, I don't know. I guess. Good night.
Alright. Alright, I'm saving this shit. There we go. Okay. You guys know for the stories, I just like to go in order. So I usually go left to right, and then come down here and go left to right. Serendipity. That's my status right now on Discord. My room is so cute. I know you guys can't see my bed, but I didn't even realize my VTuber was covering that up last time, so yeah. This is the room that I decorated last time, guys. I hope you guys like it. Hold on. These nuts are busting. They're really good. They're good. I'm sorry, I need a little break right now. Okay. That's enough nuts. Hold on, guys. The only thing about nuts is they'll make your mouth dry as hell. Alright. You grab the large beach towel from from off your bed and stuffed it into a bag. You had already packed your water bottle for your upcoming beach hangout session. The stars had aligned and somehow everyone was free today. Miranda had set up set things up with several bubbly phone calls between you, Cove, and Terry to find a time to hit the beach. You were hoping that this would be a fun time together. Cove sat on your windowsill and kicked one of his legs into the air oddly. Boy, not you kicking your leg in the air, you butt half-ass naked and over there doing, busting it open and doing all kinds of stuff on my windowsill. Hello? He already had his swimsuit on. His towel was bundled under his arm in a misshapen ball. He'd shown up earlier that morning with a surprising amount of enthusiasm. He was chatting as you caught up to his preparation. But seriously, I couldn't find my swimsuit this morning. I looked everywhere. It had disappeared. I had no idea what I was gonna do. You could have gotten a new one somewhere. What happened to all your other swimsuits? You don't have to wear a swimsuit to be on a beach. Yeah, it completely vanished somehow, just like your old sand pail. You stay quiet. I'll say that. I know that's not your only one. Cove looked away and shrugged. I might have some laundry to do. Yeah, I bet. Anyways, I don't know why it was in the bathroom when I never put it there. He gave a small smile and readjusted the towel in his arms. You now could see that it had been folded at some point and then rolled up and carried without much care.
I'm so glad.
But I'm just glad I found it. It would have been crappy to lose my favorite trunks. It was nice to see Cove so happy and comfortable in what he was wearing. You walked over to your dresser and mused about how you had picked out your own swimsuit. Your height had complicated shopping a little. Not all suits were made to properly fit people like you. And then for the shape of your body, you were heavyset, you were chubby, you had curves, you were generally medium, you were slender, you were scrawny. I'm gonna say this. I kind of want to say slender, but I kind of want to say curvy. Let's just say generally medium. And you had noticeable muscles. You had a little muscle definition. Your body was soft. Your body was delicate. Delicate. There was a fragility to your build. You had to be careful with it. You kept mostly the same shape you'd had throughout your teenage years. You were used to your body, and your body was used to your habits.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I was thinking about some things. What things? Just myself and my body, really. His eyebrow rose at your admission of self-reflection. And what do you think? What did you think of who you were? You considered your identity further. You had always felt sure about your gender. You wondered if your gender was really something you felt right about. Oh, I'm sure. Being called her was right for you, and you had small boobs. Your breasts were not exactly small, but not huge either. You were well endowed. In the past, you had breasts, but had them surgically removed. Probably this. They were medium, you supposed. Now I'm picking up my body parts and shit. You liked the size you had. You wish they were smaller and might get a reduction. You wish they were bigger and might get implants. You used a binder, but were also considering other options. You left them as they were, but were considering options for them. Oh, the size is fine. People had a lot of their identity wrapped up in their physical form. It shaped their self-image. You were confident in yours. You were comfortable in yours. You weren't really content with yours. You hated your body. You knew you had gender dysphoria. Comfortable. Your body was you, and it was a good one, and you felt content in it. You focused on Cove again. He smiled at you and tilted his head, a question still in his eyes. He was waiting for you to come to an answer, but before you could, you had something to say to him. What do you think about me? You like the way I look, right? Yeah, what do you think about me, boy? About how I look, I mean. Cove smirked a little, his eyes taking you in easily. Fishing for compliments, Rain? You look great. Everyone knows that, including you. By the way, unless that's changed. You pouted, you laughed, you blushed. I didn't want a compliment, I was just asking. So what if I wanted you to compliment me? You still should. Fine. Cove shook his head. His hand went up to try to unsubtly cover his smile. I was kind of worried you were so in your own head because something was wrong. Guess not. I'm glad. Hey, Rain. Cove gave a bit smile, pointing to your arms. You're looking particularly shapely today. He answered not with words, but a solid okay sign with both hands and the same cheeky smile. You were a little taken aback. That came out of nowhere. You glanced at yourself. You like that? Yeah. You started to flex and show off jokingly. You stood there stunned. You're so sweet and fantastic. You have some very good arms yourself. You hugged him. Say this. Cove ducked his head and started to rub his left arm. He seemed he was much more prepared to rain praise on you than to receive it himself. He barely could respond. Thanks, you too. Oh, I already said that, huh? Thanks. Finally, you felt that was enough of that topic for one day. You went back to your original goal before you got sidetracked. You needed to pick what you wanted to wear to the beach. You chose to wear casual clothes instead. You picked a one-piece swimsuit. You decided to wear a two-piece bikini. You chose a two-piece tankini. You wanted to wear your wetsuit. You wanted to wear swim trunks with a top. You wanted to wear a Speedo with a top. I'll just do a two-piece. While you dug around in your drawers, you tried to think if there was anything else you were missing. You took sunglasses, you grabbed a hat, you brought a shawl, you grabbed your board shorts, you picked out a regular shirt to wear as well, you grabbed a full swimsuit cover up to wear as well, you took goggles. Okay, a cover up was nice. With that taken care of, you held your outfit together and looked at Cove. He was tapping his toes on the side of the walls as he waited. You vaguely wondered if he thought that was a comfortable place to sit. You hoped so, given how long he'd perched on it. Regardless, it was time for him to go. You weren't going to put on your beachwear with him just chilling there. I need to change. Cove smiled, content with being kicked out. Alright. Cove lowered himself off the windowsill and walked by you to get to the door. He lightly patted you on your arm. I'll see you out front. Okay. When you were alone, you got undressed and put your swimwear on. You also checked your beach bag for the final time, and it seemed like you hadn't forgotten anything. You left your room and hurried down the stairs, ready to meet Cove. You made sure to lock your front door and walked outside. Cove stood in the road, looking down and scuffing his feet on the asphalt. When you shut your heavy door, he looked up at you and smiled. Hey. Hi, Miranda and Terry are going to be here in not too long. Terry even texted me earlier saying she was mostly on schedule.
Well,
why don't we just head to the beach and wait for them there? We're both ready. That sounded like a good idea to you. You said as much, and Cove shot off a quick text telling the two of them where you'd be. Cove gave you a thumbs up after the message sent. It was a familiar path to walk, and it wasn't long until you reached the shore. Cove laid out his towel on the warm sand. You set up yourself beside him and looked out into the ocean. The rolling swells hit the shore rhythmically. You all had lucked out. It was a beautiful day. The sky was clear and the waves were good. It was a balmy summer day with a pleasant breeze to keep things comfortable. Essentially, it was perfect.
So?
Do you feel like heading into the water? Maybe just walk down the shore? Or would you want to do something here? The water sounds good. Taking a stroll would be fun. I don't mind my feet being in the water. You plan to just get some sun? Either way is fine. What would you want to do? To ask him. Maybe walk a little, at first anyway. We can do that then. Cove nodded, accepting of the plan. He kicked some sand off his towel absentmindedly. Yeah, sounds nice. You took a deep breath and tasted the relaxing salty air. Cove caught your eye and gave you a small smile. You chatted a little before a comfortable quiet settled over the two of you, content to watch the waves as you waited for the others. Luckily, it didn't take long until you heard shouts. You turned your head to see both Miranda and Terry running straight for you. Miranda was faster, making leaps and bounds across the sand. Terry followed in her wake, laughing with her towel clutched around her shoulders and flowing like a cape. Miranda started making her jumps more theatric and more precarious as she got closer. Cave waved them on with a bright grin. You shouted a greeting, you cheered at their antics, you waved too, you laughed, you shook your head, you hoped they wouldn't fall. I'm just gonna laugh. They always found a way to make such a memorable entrance. Okay, that's cute. Yes, bitch. Oh yeah, she do like the ocean. The two officially arrived at Cove's and you're set up, looking completely ready for an ocean adventure. They were already in their swimwear and were raring to go. Hey, Terry, Miranda, welcome to our beach.
Hey!
Whoa. I mean, I start choking while I'm reading, goddamn. Hi. Hello, hello. She beamed and Miranda nodded with a smile.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I am so pumped. Yeah, I'm really glad this worked out. What have you guys been up to over here in your town? Cove, Rain, have we missed things? Cove blinked and then shrugged when nothing he wanted to mention came to mind. He shrugged like Cove. You gave a vague answer. You gave her a recap over how your family was doing. What have you been up to? Just a vague answer. Just stuff, nothing too interesting. She looked skeptical but dropped it. Terry then started talking about her morning and how she'd almost overslept since she had stayed up too late last night. She bounced on her feet as she spoke. But don't worry about me being tired today. You know I ran on less back during school. Miranda filled in the group about her morning. Apparently everything had gone smoothly. She'd met up with Terry on the way here and you knew the rest. Cove offered a suggestion to the girls. Hey, let's walk while we catch up.
Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. Once everyone's stuff was settled on the beach, the group strolled over the shoreline. The wet sand was cool under your feet. A wave rushed up and covered your ankles in water. You flinched from the suddenness of it, but by the next wave, you were acclimated. You took another step forward and sank a little into the ground. Behind you, your footprints were soon smoothed by the waves. Your friends chatted as you all walked together. You took turns pointing out cool shells or pieces of sea glass. It was a relaxing jaunt. Hours passed and the group had moved between different activities, some low-key and some more exhaustive. For you, it was another break time. You sat on your towel and sipped at some water. Your friends were hard at work burying Terry's full body under a pile. When it says sipped at some water, I'm like, am I drinking from the damn ocean? I'm like, what is happening? But I guess I could have a water bottle. Miranda used her arms to force up sand around Terry's sides. Cove worked on covering Terry's feet. You took another drink and closed your eyes. Eventually, a shadow passed over you, dampening the light that was still notable even behind your eyelids. Is this gonna be Baxter? Oh. You checked to see Cove had joined you there. He knelt down to dig around in the pile of assorted beach stuff in the middle of everyone's towel setup and pulled out the sunscreen. He took a seat next to you on his towel. He opened the bottle with a soft pop and began to reapply the cream. Hey. After he finished up, Cove let out a comfortable sigh and looked off into the distance. But when he sighed again, this time in an exaggeratedly disappointed way, here he goes, getting upset again. You wondered if he was going to sigh again, even more dramatically if you didn't say anything. What's wrong, you honestly wondered. You wondered what it was. You raised an eyebrow, you chuckled. Oh, Cove, whatever it is, I'm sure it's gonna be okay, you joked. I'm just gonna raise an eyebrow. You raised a questioning eyebrow. You made it half as dramatic as Cove's expression, and he had to stifle a smirk. Cove shook his head, comically despondent. His frown didn't match the sparkle in his eyes.
Don't worry about it.
I'm just becoming another jaded adult, that's all. Now you were really confused. You waited for him to continue, and his next sigh did not disappoint. It was the most ridiculously sad sigh you had ever heard. Oh my god. Then he smiled a little. Mermaids aren't real. Is he serious right now, bro? Like, I'm dead ass. Like, is he serious? Like, this is why he's getting upset. And this is why my title is what it is. What? That had not been what you were expecting. He continued. You know how much I liked mermaids as a kid. Well, merfolk as a whole. I really hoped that they were out there. I mean, the ocean's a big place, right? They could be somewhere. But the older I got, the more I had to accept it. They were just a fairy tale. He jerked his head over to the waterline and the rolling waves. They crashed against the shore and then drew back. This is a perfect beach for them. It's pretty and vast and never too crowded. If merfolk did exist, we definitely would have met one by now, or at least we would have heard of someone else seeing one. But nothing. He acted as though that result was a true bafflement. He let his head hang. I gotta let the dream go. You burst into laughter. That's hardly proof. It's not like this is the only beach in the world. You pretended to be shocked and disappointed. You shake your head. Wow, good for you with that revelation. I'm sorry, I gotta laugh. That was hilarious. Cove chuckled a little to himself, eyes tilted off into the sea, his face still low. Maybe it's for the best. Let's say a mer person did happen to wash up on shore one day. He looked at you with a faux doleful expression. I could have lost my best friend to their magical underwater world. Oh yeah, I'd totally go live undersea with the merfolk. Even if I had the chance, I'd stay on the shore with you. I'd go with the mer person, but only if you could come with us too. Cove grinned. He hadn't expected that answer. You're a nice person, Rain, but what if they didn't want me? Would you seriously stay on land? You gave him a look. You meant what you had said. It'd only work if the offer was for both of you. Are you sure that's the right call? If a beautiful, kind mer person like somebody, I'm pretty positive that the sensible response isn't to turn around and say, no thanks, I'm gonna stay on land with the normal guy. Are you warning me that you'd leave if you got that kind of offer? Why are you so sure I'd have to make that call? Since this is all hypothetical, why not have you be the mer person? I don't want that. I should get to be a mer creature, and then I'd invite you to the underwater world. I'm gonna ask him this. You don't want me to be blindsided when you ditch me for a mer creature if they're real?
Not really.
No, that isn't the same thing. If a mer person did magically appear, I'm not the one they'd be calling for. It'd be you for sure. Oh. You were completely flattered by how highly he thought of you. And then you heard Miranda screech. Your attention immediately switched over to your friends. You saw that Terry had gotten impatient and shifted her legs. The walls Miranda had been meticulously building collapsed into a wet heap of sand. She surveyed the damage critically. We're gonna have to start over on that part. Do you just want to give up on this now?
No way.
No way. The burial must continue. I'll try not to move anymore. Okay, if you're sure, I'll try to fix this. Miranda started to rebury her, and Terry shot at her a thumbs up. She realized too late that moving her arm was a bad idea. More of the sand on her crumbled, and Miranda put her head in her hands. Cove caught your eye and started to drag himself up. Seems like we're needed. You agreed and followed him over to the girls. Miranda nodded at you both with appreciation, and the three of you did your best to finish the job. You all worked out a system of using just enough wet sand to help hold the rest together. With 3 people, it didn't take long for Terry to be entombed. Terry grinned massively, and Miranda offered high fives. The pile was officially done. Oh, yeah! Resembling the Kool-Aid man, she kicked herself out of the ground with gusto. Sand went flying in all directions, and a Terry-shaped imprint was left behind. Miranda yelled again, and Cove chuckled. There probably wasn't a better way to get out of it. The 4 of you continued to have a good time. You went on a shell hunt. Miranda managed to find the biggest, while you found the most colorful. Cove caught a tiny crab. You did a bit of everything. There were impromptu games to just soaking up each other's company. However, after a while, you all had ran out of water, drinkable water anyway. It was decided that you'd head to your or Cove's house. Things were gathered, and you started to cheerfully walk up the road. What's next? I don't have anywhere to go, so it could be whatever. Same, I guess we can keep hanging out? Terry snorted and readjusted her grip on her things. Don't sound too sure there, Cove. By this point, you could see your house. It hadn't taken you long to make the trip. The conversation continued with everyone throwing out suggestions. Are people hungry? She looked from face to face in inspection. Cove and Miranda shrugged in concert. No one was overtly opposed to it. However, you weren't really starving. It wasn't quite a mealtime. We could get dessert. Miranda put a finger to her lip and thought. With a smile, her voice became more confident. Yeah, that would be fun. Terry considered it and then shot Miranda a thumbs up. Sounds great to me. I can definitely go for that. I think that's a good idea, but there's nothing sweet at my house. Your friends glanced at Cove in his place. He shook his head immediately. Dad doesn't have anything good either. I mean, unless you want dessert-flavored protein shakes. Ew, no. She cut in and held her hands up as if trying to ward off something evil. Cove smirked.
Not bad.
It's not that bad.
Nope. Well,
there has to be some kind of sweet shop around here. Let's look it up. Terry nodded and started to dig around in her bag. I like the way you think. Terry continued to rummage in her bag and grew increasingly frustrated. She puffed out her cheeks and knelt down, setting the bag on the ground. With both hands free, she was finally able to fish out her phone. She raised it up in triumph for a brief moment of celebration. I'll search for something good. Terry got back to her feet, hefting the bag over one arm, tapping away at her screen in the other. But she assessed Cove from top to bottom. No shirt, no shoes, no service. Cove glanced down at his bare chest and feet, having not even registered it prior. He chuckled a little. I'll grab something. Cove moved over to his house. You looked towards yours. You decided to change as well. You waited outside with the girls. I'm gonna change too. You felt like you'd be more comfortable in something more streetwear than beachwear. You inclined your head over to the side. I'm gonna change too. Go for it. We'll wait. Miranda nodded with a smile. You ran into your house. No one was home, so you just rushed to your room and dropped off your beach stuff on your bed. You threw something over what you were wearing. You completely changed into casual clothes. I'm just gonna completely change. You stripped and found a suitable outfit to go hang out in. You slipped it on and felt satisfied with your decision. With that, you sped back outside. Cove was already there and gathered around Terry's phone with the girls. He opted to just add a shirt and shoes, apparently putting in the minimum effort for service. Hello again. You don't really want ice cream, do you? You didn't have a chance to answer. She kept barreling through with her words. 'Cause I'm not into that right now.
That's cool.
Don't mind her. You look nice, by the way. Terry scrolled further and then made an interested exclamation. Oh, what about this place? They sell crepes. That's something you don't see every day. Look how fancy they are. She shoved her phone into your face. It seemed like a cute shop. It didn't show any pictures of the actual building, but the food seemed good. It was one of those places that put a lot of effort into presentation with branded wrapping for the crepes and well-applied toppings.
Huh.
Weird, I've never heard of it. I haven't either. Mysterious, but crepes are so good. She nodded her approval as Terry admired more of the photos. I'd go, it's not too far, but we could drive. Terry cheered at the success of a plan made, and you all walked around to Cove's car. He had to run inside once more to grab his keys. So y'all going in dressed like this, but he had to put a shirt on? You wrote "Wash me" in the dirt on his car. You waited for Cove. We'll do that. You noticed a thin coat of sand and dust on Cove's car. It had probably been a while since he'd washed it. With a smirk, you carefully wrote "Wash me" with your finger. Hi, Tyler. What's up?
Very nifty.
Good work. I wonder if he's even gonna notice. The car beeped and unlocked. Cove ran up to you with his car keys in hand. His hair slipped into his face and he brushed it back. Shotgun! She clambered into the passenger seat without hesitation. You didn't argue and climbed into the back with Miranda. I think Terry likes him. But I will say, it's very interesting that he drives now. Terry activated the directions on her phone map and acted as their navigator, directing Cove to the crepes. The GPS tried to get Cove to turn into a non-existent road once and wanted him to do a U-turn instead of just using a left turn. But with Terry looking at the actual path, it went smooth enough. You were led to a small stall in a parking lot rather than a full building. That explained why there hadn't been pictures of the crepery's interior and why it was new to you despite living in this town your entire life. It was a completely new structure that popped up recently. There was a window you could walk up to and one for cars to drive up to. Cove parked with a laugh.
Come on.
I don't think I needed to put a shirt on for this, but I still want to try it. Let's go.
What?
Do you not trust us to eat in your car? She gestured to the drive-thru option. Cove shook his head with a snort. I trust some people here, maybe, but wouldn't it be more fun to actually check it out? Everyone acknowledged his point and piled out. Terry tried to tease Cove a little, but Miranda started talking about the last time she had crepes. Apparently, they'd been a dessert explosion topped with multiple sauces, powdered sugar, and what Miranda was pretty sure had to be cake icing. That's sweet.
So great.
Literally, it was so good, but I regretted it so much. I couldn't finish it, and I really tried. You can do it this time, Randy. Okay, this is a cute little place here. This is so pretty. There were some laughs. When you got up to the menu, you realized that there were more than just crepes. There were definitely crepes, many crepes. However, the stall also had a lot of different drinks as well. Teas, smoothies, milkshakes. I'm kind of craving a milkshake right now, guys. So I kind of want to get one in the game. Bro whipping the Honda Civic. Right. Jackpot. She grinned and held out her fist for a fist bump. Miranda high-fived it. The two stared at the awkward, vaguely turkey-shaped hand configuration they had made and then slowly put their hands down. Cove's mouth twitched in a smile. You stepped up to order first. You glanced back at the menu. You ordered a crepe, you ordered a drink, you ordered a crepe and a drink. I want both. Hello, I'd like to get a crepe and a drink, please. There was a woman who looked a little older than you taking the order. She smiled back at you, ready to hear the specifics of your purchase. For the crepe itself, you wanted plain, strawberry, chocolate, green tea, or lemon. I'm gonna do plain. For the filling and toppings, you picked whipped cream, condensed milk, cream cheese, chocolate chips, chocolate syrup, caramel syrup, powdered sugar, strawberries, mango slices, mixed berries, banana slices. You did. Okay, whipped cream for sure. Let's do caramel syrup and powdered sugar. And that's it. After you picked the size, you were asked what you wanted to drink. You ordered an iced green tea, a black tea, a milk tea, an iced coffee, a strawberry smoothie, a banana smoothie, a mango smoothie, a coffee crepe, a vanilla milkshake, a chocolate milkshake. Let's do a vanilla milkshake. You could also add in a mix or toppings for the drink. We are about to make us a little like cookies and cream. You chose to add whipped cream, you chose to add chocolate syrup, you chose to add caramel syrup, you chose to add boba pearls, you chose to add condensed, that's it? Bruh. Okay, we're gonna do whipped cream and caramel syrup, whatever. You paid and stepped aside to let your friends order. Cove got a lemon crepe with powdered sugar on top and the mixed berries. That kind of sounds good too. He also got a plain strawberry smoothie. Terry went crazy with toppings. Although she ordered a plain crepe, she had it smothered with whipped cream, cream cheese, chocolate chips, chocolate syrup, and bananas. Turkey hand configuration is certainly a weird description. I agree. Miranda opted for a frappe with caramel syrup and condensed milk. That kind of sounds good too. The four of you stood off to the side as you waited for your treats. Her eyes are pretty. I heard what you ordered, Rain. Glad I'm not the only one to go for a drink and a crepe. I couldn't pick just one, and why not? Exactly, it's gonna be good. Rain, man, your crepe is gonna rock. High five for topping appreciation. She held her hand out expectantly. You gave her a high five, you left her hanging, you fist bumped her palm. I'm gonna leave her. No, I'm just kidding. You hit her hand with a satisfying smack. Order for Rain. Oh, I've got to get that. You grabbed your order. The others didn't take much time after that. With the goods collected, everyone admired their treats. Terry dug right into hers, and Miranda gave hers a tentative sip. Terry nodded acceptingly, with her mouth completely full. Miranda tilted the frappe over to her with a grin. Terry sipped it and clearly loved it. She raised her crepe over to Miranda. You could tell that there was an intent to make it look nice, with all the assorted toppings piled on. Only so much could be done. Miranda took a huge bite with gusto and sighed happily. Terry seemed satisfied and took another slurp of Miranda's drink. They had both only got one thing, probably because they knew they'd end up sharing. Cove, do you want to share ours? Terry, Miranda, can I join in the sharing? You offered to share your order with everyone. I ain't saying shit. I'm not sharing my shit with nobody unless somebody like asks, maybe. But like, we're not sharing no straws and then. You tasted your order and let out a happy sigh. You paid a little attention to your friends and just focused on what you had. Food swapping in 2022 is kind of crazy. Yeah, like it depends on how you're doing it. Like it's just like, I don't know. If you got your own shit and you want to like, whatever. But like, I'm not about to be sitting here feeding you with my spoon. No, I'm good on that. With that, Cove started to eat his treats in earnest. You saw him take a huge gulp of his smoothie, and then without swallowing, he added a bite of his lemon crepe. His habit of mixing foods together wasn't anything new. He hummed in satisfaction, so you guess he must have liked the combined flavor. Cove? Terry tore off a piece of her crepe and held it out to Cove. Care to make a trade? Sure. Instead of continuing to loiter in the parking lot, the four of you started to walk down the sidewalk. There was a lot of sharing going on, with crepe bits and toppings being passed around. You wouldn't have been surprised if Terry ended up drinking more frappe than Miranda did. You kept going down the way, eating, drinking, and chatting. You hadn't realized just how far the group had wandered until you ended up at the now leaving sign. Apparently, you were about to just walk right out into the middle of nowhere. Damn, this is where Cove was when he tried to run away when we were little. Yeah, I agree, Tyler. Can't eat off of books anymore. Terry took her mouth off of Miranda's straw and stopped sipping the frappe. Oh yeah, they definitely sharing straws and shit. Did she just bark? What the hell? Impossible. Preposterous. How are we already at the end? I always forget how tiny this town really is. Terry going crazy, right? Cove chuckled a little and swallowed a chunk of Terry's crepe.
I guess.
It kinda is, huh? It didn't feel like that small when we were growing up. It definitely felt bigger then. It always seemed like there wasn't much here. There are tinier places out there. You guys are lucky to live in decent-sized cities. You quietly nodded along. You shrugged. I'll just say that. Not disagreeing with Cove, you gave acknowledgement of his words. Sunset Bird really did feel smaller these days. I guess this means we should probably head back. One doesn't just walk into nowhere land. We're not only one, Terry. There's four of us. Terry scrunched up her face, and not wanting to acknowledge the bad joke, she decided to ignore it. It stinks having to go all the way back. Yeah, but it's not like there's anything out that direction. And if we did keep going forward, it'd be an even longer trip home. You stared off into the stretch of road as Cove agreed that he didn't want to go out any further. Can we take a break here first before we turn around? We've been walking for a while and someone finished my drink. Right on cue, Terry's loudly sucked air from the straw. It was so good. Miranda looked at her, but Terry remained unrepentant. In the end, though, it was agreed to hang around the sign before heading back to the car. It didn't take long to finish the rest of the food and drinks. Everyone gathered up the trash and stuffed it into bags and pockets for now. The group relaxed on the grass, keeping account of all the cars that drove past. It was not a high number. 14. The newest passing car drove into town from somewhere outside. But as the vehicle came by, it slowed down and you watched as it ultimately rolled to a complete stop. The black car parked right by the now leaving sign. Everyone exchanged a baffled look. Is this Baxter? But then the tinted windows rolled down and the driver peered out. As soon as you saw his hair, you recognized him. No one else you knew presented themselves so distinctively. Oh my gosh. Hey, neighbors. Oh my gosh, this guy. Cove also jolted with recognition. He pasted on a cordial smile and waved politely. Afterwards, he put his mouth back over the straw of his long, empty drink as if trying to act cool. You waved at him. Hi. You just wondered what he was doing here. You wish he hadn't stopped to chat. You smiled and were excited to see him. I'm just gonna wave. You leaned forward and tried to get a better look. His hands were loose on his steering wheel, and he seemed rather relaxed to have just pulled over on the side of the road. You waved, and he nodded in acknowledgement. And you thought about the odd picture this made. A fancy black car pulled over to talk to a group of teens, mostly still in beachwear. Oh my gosh. Miranda was incredibly confused and shrank back to watch. Terry tilted her head in an unspoken question. Cove made a quick gesture pointing towards Baxter, and a light bulb went off for Terry.
All right.
Ah, that's the new person in the condo, the B-man, right? Yeah, Baxter.
Oh,
I wasn't sure if I'd ever actually see him. Her voice was quiet. Miranda usually got shy around new people. Terry was quite the opposite. Incredible, this is perfect. Terry hopped up from the grass and ran to Baxter's car, all full of excitement. Behind her, Miranda picked herself up and dusted imaginary dirt off her clothes. She sent a searching look to you and Cove, to which Cove shrugged. Miranda nodded and with clenched fists hesitantly followed Terry. Terry bent down to talk to Baxter through his window. She blasted through introductions with Miranda putting in a shy wave. Cove looked at you. He still clearly had no intention of going over. You stayed with Cove. You went over to Baxter. You encouraged Cove to come. I'm gonna just stay with Cove. Because Baxter is kind of weird, like. When Cove realized you were planning to stay with him, he smiled a little. Cove shuffled closer and dropped his voice. Honestly, I still find it kind of hard to talk to the guy. I get it. I feel the exact same way. You know he can still see you, right? He knows you're here. You kept quiet and got comfortable. I'll just say I get it. Yeah, I thought you would. Cove sighed and ran a hand through his hair. He looked at you with a wry expression on his face. I'm glad you do, because I don't think I could explain it if you asked me to. He tries to be considerate, but it doesn't totally land for me. Sometimes people don't hit it off. The two of you waited for the others to finish up. You couldn't hear what they were saying from there, but you could see from body language that Terry was up to something and Miranda didn't like it. You and your neighbor exchanged a look. After Miranda seemed to calm down slightly, Terry turned around to wave at you. She put her hands to her face to make a megaphone. Come on, get over here. Baxter is giving us a ride. Oh my gosh. Cove's mouth popped open in surprise, then his lip curled together in clear displeasure.
All right.
I should have known. She's always pulling something. He took a slow breath and then shrugged. Guess we have to get over there. It's gonna be really awkward now since he knows we tried not to talking to him. Yeah, we can't hide over here forever. You followed him over to the car, apparently about to get a lift. You were just happy to get a ride. You were kind of annoyed that Terry did this. You felt uncomfortable to be getting a ride from Baxter. I'm kind of annoyed because she didn't even ask us. Terry really should have checked with you and Cove first. It was irritating for her to make this decision all on her own. You arrived at the driver's side car window and Baxter smiled welcomingly. Hello. Hey. Cove greeted him mildly, his expression cautious. Howdy, Baxter. Alrighty, plan made. Let's hop in. You hesitantly opened the back door and slipped inside. The car was clean and smelled of air freshener. You stared at Cove for reassurance as you scooted all the way to the other side. Cove squeezed into the middle after you. Miranda took the last seat in the back and you all tried to awkwardly buckle up. Were back seats really made for 3 adults? It honestly didn't seem like it. Terry gladly took the shotgun seat and had all the room she wanted.
Does that sound alright?
Oh my gosh, she's kind of creepy. Welcome to my vehicle. I hope everyone is comfortable, and if someone could point me in the right direction, we can be on our way. Terry went back to the navigator mode and outlined their journey. It was basically a straight line with one turn at the end into the parking lot. Baxter nodded from up in the driver's seat and pulled back into the road. Luckily, the street was still dead empty. It took no time at all for Baxter to park right next to Cove's car. There wasn't even enough time for a proper conversation to start. The occupants didn't seem to mind. There were smiles all around when Baxter parked next to Cove's car. Whew! Miranda clapped quietly as Terry cheered. Cove chuckled nervously. You smiled. Yeah, you clapped as well. You nudged Baxter in a friendly way. You were relieved you had made it. The trip had gone without issue. They wilding, ain't no way somebody sat in the middle seat comfortably. The trip had gone without issue. Baxter hadn't sped excessively or stopped for another set of teenagers in swimsuits. Why are they throwing shade at him right here? He'd just driven down the road and now you were here. You sighed a breath of relief and put your hand on the door handle. We've arrived. That was easy. Terry flung open her door and climbed out.
Thanks.
Everyone else exited the car as well. The group thanked Baxter with varying degrees of enthusiasm. Baxter himself got out too. Everyone congregated again in front of Baxter's and Cove's cars. Cove looked at the back of his and frowned. He'd finally discovered the wash me you'd put on it. Huh, I wonder who did that. You snickered along with Miranda, who realized you'd been caught. It's a mystery. Right. Terry bounced over to Baxter and offered her hand for a handshake. He accepted it easily with a charming grin. You're a pal. You're too kind. It was no trouble whatsoever. I'll be keeping this car all this summer. If it suits you, you're welcome to take my number and give me a ring whenever you're in need of another ride, and that goes for everyone here. I have a car. Terry busted into laughter, and Miranda fidgeted. She did not know what to do with that. Baxter really went fast, didn't he? He noticed her discomfort and smiled with a soft tilt of his head. I'd be happy to help again, and that's the only reason I offered. If you don't need it, you can pass on it. Can I have your number? I'm staying silent. When her giggle subsided, Terry put a hand to her chin with brows furrowed. I wonder would that option be available right now? You could valet us somewhere cool.
What?
Cove was like, what the fuck, shut your ass up. Cove was taken aback. He put a hand on the hood of his car. Weren't we going back to the neighborhood? Wasn't Baxter going back to the neighborhood too? Why would we go somewhere else? Because we can. Miranda squirmed nervously and then committed to piping up.
Maybe?
We could go to the park near my place. It's a really nice place to hang out. If y'all don't shut y'all asses up, we trying to go home. You and Cove shared a look. The big park was pretty nice. Let's do it. Baxter tapped the side of his face and thought.
It's doable.
Oh my gosh. He glanced at Cove and then switched focus to you.
Well,
we have 2 cars. If some people want to go to the park, I could still take the others home. But if everyone's going, it wouldn't make sense for me not to. Bro, I'm going home. I don't give a damn. Bye, Tyler. Thank you for being here. You decided to go back to the neighborhood with Cove. You want to continue the... Nah, I'm going with... I don't know. I'm about to take a break. Grab me some more hot cocoa. Probably turn my air down because it's kind of cold in this bitch. And then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do a poll. I mean, you're really the only person in here, Rissy. So what do you think I should do? But I will be back. And then we'll decide. Okay, I have returned. Hello, Mookie. Alright, what should we do for this? What should we do? I kind of want to go back to the house just because Baxter is kind of like... Baxter's kind of weird a little bit. I'm gonna be honest, like he is a little weird, but I'm also kind of interested in what he would say. So I don't know. I'm kind of interested in the stuff I would see him say. Let's do eeny meeny miny mo. Eeny meeny miny mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If he howls, I don't know. Eeny meeny miny mo. You. No. Bye. You would rather go back for now. You let the group know. Both girls frowned. Neither wanted to leave you or Cove behind. Terry especially looked troubled and started bouncing in place. Well, you the one... That's what y'all wanted to do.
No.
Today is all about us hanging out. We can't just bail. Miranda nodded and bit her lip. We don't have to go to the park. Going back to the neighborhood has plenty of appeal. It could prove to be the better idea. Cove winced and shook his head.
Don't worry about it.
No, really, it's fine. We've done plenty of hanging out today. If you want to go to the park, you should. You don't have to worry about us. Go have fun with Baxter. Okay. She didn't sound too thrilled and Miranda patted her on the shoulder.
Okay.
Guess we'll see you later then. Probably. Cove smiled and she rolled her eyes at his wishy-washy answer. He knew you'd be seeing them again. I mean, they're the ones that wanted to go with this guy, so I don't know why they were getting upset. I do not understand. Because it ain't making sense. Make it make sense. Everyone finished saying their goodbyes and the three climbed into Baxter's car. Bye! Terry started to shout back and startled Baxter slightly. Miranda laughed and waved back. Terry rolled down the window. See ya! Bye, Terry. Bye, Miranda. Then Baxter rolled down his window.
See you.
Have a safe journey back. I'll see you around the neighborhood. Baxter started to pull out of the parking lot and Cove waved them off, stepping forward as they pulled away. Then it was just you and Cove left in the parking lot. He rubbed his hands together for a moment and unlocked his car. You got into the shotgun seat this time and Cove took his place at the wheel. He put his key in the ignition and turned to you. I'm surprised you didn't want to go. I was ready to go back. Thank you for giving me an out. You didn't respond to that. Actually, I only wanted to go so that you had a reason to leave. I'll just say that. Cove smiled, satisfied, and finally turned his key to the car to start the car. The car ride back passed quickly. They were all familiar roads you'd seen before. Soon you'd return to the comfort of your own neighborhood. Cove pulled in and parked. He shut off his car. Then you both got out to stand in the road.
I guess.
I guess that's it. Thanks for the ride, Cove. I'll see you later. It was fun. Pleasant farewells given. You walked to your front door. Oh, it's pretty at sunset. Time ticked by as the sun started to set. Orange gold light streamed in through the windows. You could tell the weather was still really nice out there. Your attention was taken by your phone. You saw it right away as your phone was in your hand. Miranda's personalized text tone sounded. It pinged on your desk. You had different text tones for almost everyone important in your life. You thought Miranda's was especially fitting. It played and you snatched it up to check your phone. Hi, Rain. We're gonna see fireworks. Do you want to come? Oh. And Terry texted Cove. He said he'll be there. How did their trip start at hanging out in the park and end at finding some previously unknown fireworks spectacle? It was definitely news to you. Fireworks? Y'all have fun. I'm going to sleep. No, sorry. You typed a response to Miranda and let her know your plans didn't include fireworks tonight. Miranda sent back an okay and wished you a nice night with a smiley face. You hit the lock button and gently dropped your phone on your bed before you flopped down to relax. It had been quite the day for you after all. From the beach to crepes and then meeting up with Baxter, it had definitely been busy. Your eyes felt heavy and you shifted to get more comfortable. You let yourself drift off to the memories of today's waves. I definitely would have done something like that in real life, to be honest. And Cove sitting there talking about, oh yeah, he feels so weird. He wants to leave. And then his ass saying he's going. This is why Derek is my character's bae and not him. How about that? Alrighty. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's do errands. From the moment you woke up, you knew that today was going to be busier than usual. There was a list of errands that needed to be finished before the day was done. First up was visiting one of the biggest farmers markets in the area. It was only open 2 weekends a month during certain parts of the year. It was rare that you and your moms were able to attend, so your moms liked to make the most out of every minute of it. And you realized it was not just them feeling that way when you heard a whistle from your left side. Wow, this is a swanky show. Vegetables have never seemed so highbrow. Seriously, they don't mess around with their products.
Isn't that great?
Liz crossed her arms. You could tell she was amused. We couldn't have picked a more perfect trip. It's been too long since we had a true family outing. Her teasing tone said more than she actually did. Your next door neighbors had joined you this day, and that's what made it a true family outing. The 3 parents laughed approvingly. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught Cove looking at you sympathetically. Some things never changed and some jokes never died. You'd long accepted that. You were excited to check things out. You thought the trip might be fun. You shrugged, feeling indifferent. You felt uncomfortable. You were in a bad mood. This trip was a waste of your time. Thought it might be fun. You smiled, trying to imagine how many stalls were set up. You were curious what hidden gems were waiting for you to discover among them. Well, I'm ready to get started. I've got plenty of dishes in mind I could use ingredients for. Before your moms responded to that, they glanced at each other and smiled. Yes, that's a very good idea, Cliff. This place is much larger than it seems. It's difficult to visit each part in a single day.
I got it.
I'm sure we can make a decent dent together at least. Actually, since there are so many of us this time, we could take different sides of the market.
Sounds good.
Divide and conquer, eh? That sounds brilliant. Everyone watched your mom surprised. No one had considered that an option, but your mom flashed the group with a dazzling smile, continuing with the thought. Oh my gosh, not... Though it's a little unfair that there are 4 Palmer family members and only 2 Holdens here, so I'll go with you boys to even out the odds.
Okay.
That's fine with me. Cliff scratched the back of his neck and slowly met Cove's stare. They both seemed unconvinced but weren't sure what to say about it. Don't worry, we'll be apart for only a few hours, and then we'll have something to talk about at the end of it. Father and son ultimately nodded. This wasn't an argument they were going to win.
All right.
Alright, I don't get the point. But I also don't mind spending the first part of the trip with Rain and Ma. Ma clapped her hands together after that. Wonderful. Are the teams ready to go? Hey, I didn't agree to anything. Yeah, let's go. Can I be the one who goes with the Holdens instead? You stayed silent. I'll just say, yeah, let's go. Delighted, Ma hooked an arm around you and a little side hug. You grinned.
Thank you.
Taking the lead, Mom walked over towards Cove and Cliff, who were still eyeing her confusedly.
Let's go.
Come on, boys, we're heading out. Sure. Okay. Cove looked at you softly and found himself pulled forward, stopping in front of you. His expression flickered for a moment, hesitant.
Bye.
Bye. Suddenly, he twitched slightly, his whole body getting stiff. He jerked his gaze back at your mom, and you realized that she had grabbed the hem of his shirt. She gave it a small tug before letting go. You about to punch her in the face. Time's a wasting, Cove, and I've known you long enough to be aware that you're one to linger. If I don't stop you now, you'll only drag your feet on parting ways more. 2 of you can survive 1 morning apart, probably. We have important shopping to do now. Cove gasped at what he felt was a truly obscene thing to say. His face burned red, but that was ignored by him. He spoke with an unimpressed roll of the eyes.
Seriously?
You don't need to literally pull me away from Rain. I'm not that clingy. Mom snickered with a... What does this say when you remove the S? With a shake of her head. Cove's eyebrows raised over the reaction, and he turned to Ma. She wouldn't meet his eye as she whistled innocently. Liz smirked ear to ear, and Cove whipped his head towards his dad. Mr. Holden couldn't offer anything more than an apologetic shrug. It was only then that it dawned on Cove that everyone did think he was that needy. Finally, he dared to face you with wide, pleading eyes. Don't make fun of Cove. Who said you were allowed to say things like that to him? Cove is totally capable of being independent when he wants to be. There's nothing wrong with being attached, just nice. Oh, come on, Cove. You know how it is. Silently, you stared back at him. I'll just say when he wants to be. He spoke very matter-of-fact and fixed a stern gaze on the group. Cove, meanwhile, beamed at having your support. Without thinking, Cove took another step forward, feeling drawn to you. Also, again, Mom grabbed the back of his shirt. She tried suppressing her laughter, but a few chuckles escaped. Actions speak louder than words. Cove's mouth twisted as he struggled to come up with something to say in his defense. He was newly embarrassed all over again. Yeah, well, so what? That admission had Liz, your mom, and his dad bursting into laughter. Cove grimaced and walked several steps from the group before stopping. He clearly wanted to move on, so much that he was physically moving away. He smiled softly and waved goodbye. When he noticed, Cove's mouth pulled into a bent smile of his own, and he seemed to feel better.
See you later.
See you in a few hours. Take care of yourselves. At that, Mom picked a direction and set out into the market with Mr. Holden and Cove following behind her. Grinning, Ma sent them off with a big wave. Liz gave a daintier goodbye wave herself. Despite the change of plans, you were still glad to be there. You felt like the change of plans was a good idea. You felt unsure about it. You had been happy, now you were annoyed. That definitely put a damper on your good mood. I'm unsure. You thought you would get to go shopping all together. You had been looking forward to being able to go through the market with your best friend. You didn't like having your plans suddenly change. Yeah, I thought we'd do this. You could feel your optimism faltering. It made you feel silly, but you'd been looking forward to the trip you envisioned. Liz noticed you were already deflating and took up the spot next to you. She elbowed you in a gesture that could only be encouraging when coming from an older sibling. Do you think there'll be any nice ginger around here? We'll have to find out. You nodded plainly, not having much to add right now. Ma led you both into the busy market. Some time passed and your group had spent it browsing for the most part. There were only a few stalls you stopped at, but otherwise you were dragging your feet, trailing along behind Ma and Liz. At one point, Ma stopped suddenly. She put a hand on her belly and gave a half-hearted smile. I think I should have used the bathroom before we left home like the two of you responsibly did. Just need to pee?
Yes.
Yes, Liz. I'll have to visit the ladies' room now. Should we all go with you? Ma craned forward as she struggled to pinpoint the direction she needed to go. She gently considered your suggestion. There's no need to worry about me for this or waste time standing around. Keep on shopping. Though, actually, I might need help finding my way. Can you please come, Lizzie? You and your sister had to share a look over that. Why do that of all things? Ma, if anyone should go anywhere on their own, shouldn't it be you? You're the one needing a detour and you're the parent here. Ma giggled, unfazed by the resistance. Liz, meanwhile, tipped the brow of her hat up, watching Ma skeptically. Soon enough, Rain will have to handle doing these kinds of errands on her own. This makes good practice. What? Ma hooked an arm around Liz's and pulled her along. Not them leaving me out here in the middle of no fucking where. I'm about to get snatched up by Jeremy and Baxter. Cove can't go on preggers. What the hell? Ma hooked an arm around Liz's and pulled her along. Have fun. We'll find each other again later. Excuse me? Bye. Wait, you wave. You try following after there. I'ma stand here stunned, because what the hell? You watched dumbfounded as they waded into the crowd. They were out of sight within moments, and what started as a group outing rapidly became you, entirely on your own. You were overwhelmed. You thought, screw them. You were done with this whole trip. You felt great being left on your own. You thought Ma was being ridiculous, but you didn't really mind. You didn't know what to think. I'm done. I'm in a bad mood. All you wanted was a normal day of errands. You sure didn't sign up for this. You walked off on your own. You found a place to sit where you left. You texted Cove to meet up. Yep, I'm texting Cove. Y'all can suck my ass. Y'all telling us that we are so attached at the hip and shit, and then y'all leave me out here in the middle of nowhere with Jeremy on the loose, possibly. Even though it said we never hear from him again, but we'll find out about that. And Baxter out here. Baxter might snatch me up. Excellent. He probably watching from the bushes right now, talking about excellent. He about to snatch me up and kill me. And they over here giggling, running to the bathroom. At that point, you had no interest in your mom's plan. If they weren't going to stick around to follow it through, you were going to do what you actually wanted. Taking out your phone, you quickly pulled your chat with Cove up and sent, "Want to shop together, or could I join your group?" Ma and Liz went off themselves and left me. It wasn't long at all before you got a response back. Cove responded in rapid fire messages. What? Wait, where are you? You took a survey of your surroundings and then sent him a description of where you were and the path you took to get there. While you waited for his response, you watched all the people moving around and past you. There wasn't a single familiar face. When your phone received a new text, you breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, I'm on my way. Great, thanks. Cove couldn't get there fast enough. There wasn't any reason that you could think of why you had to wander around the market alone. You placed your phone back where it belonged and checked around for a nearby stall to kill time at. You pulled your focus. Or one pulled your focus. Ah, what's this? While most stalls were selling various garden-grown foods, this one had an array of homemade fudge. There were even vegan versions of every option. You got closer to the stall, but soon your gaze drifted elsewhere. It was fun getting a peek at all the fudge options, but you weren't enticed enough to buy any. For the next several minutes, you stood there on high alert, trying to spot Cove among the crowd. You broke into a smile when you saw his familiar seafoam hair sticking out above the masses. He hadn't seen you yet, but Cove was walking with purpose in your direction. You noticed he was hefting a couple bags in his hand. Cove, over here! He instantly stopped dead in his tracks. Alert, Cove's head snapped up and his eyes searched the crowd until they landed on you. His whole demeanor brightened at the sight. Yeah, Baxter's a weirdo. Excellent. That's how he talks. $20. Rain. But even from a distance, you could tell his mood shifted again. He seemed serious. He weaved through passersby deftly in an attempt to get through as fast as reasonably possible, slipping around them with ease. You went over to him. You couldn't move from where you were. You bounced in place, excited for him to reach your spot. You ran to meet him. You took off full tilt towards Cove as he continued his own approach.
Are you okay?
Yeah, what did my mom think about you coming? I have no idea. Yours weren't the only ones to just leave. Your mom took my dad before you even messaged. You're kidding. I wish. I can't believe this happened to both of us. They planned it. They had to, but I don't know why. Are they pranking us? I don't know either. And you meant it. You couldn't fathom what your moms were up to. Cove shook his head trying to clear his mind. So they left both of us alone? I think they did that to see if we would just go find each other.
Well,
I guess things are just up to us now. Yeah. So, his gaze wandered off as if one of your parents might simply appear if he kept checking, and you could tell he was still processing the situation. He scratched the back of his head, looking sheepish. Do you still want to go shopping with me? Definitely. Cove beamed, and you were ecstatic at the thought of spending the rest of the trip with him. It was finally time to take some control back over your day.
don't worry about it.
Even if we had to make our own fun, we're gonna have a good trip. Cove smiled at you encouragingly. It made you feel more optimistic now, a little more hopeful, glad that he was there, but still overall unhappy. Nothing, it was a terrible trip either way. Having him there was already comforting, and now he also seemed determined to improve your day by any means. That had you looking forward to what was coming next. So, where to first? I don't mind going back the way I came if it's new to you. It's not hard to miss stuff even if I've gone past it. What have you gotten? Cove shuffled his bags around and started pulling them open so you could peek inside each one. You recognized the array of things he picked up around the market. I mostly got typical things I can use pretty easily so far, nothing super exciting. And, well, I picked up a few things I figured you might want to have too. Oh my gosh. There were a few onions, some apples, and potatoes, among other things that were wrapped up so you couldn't discern what they were. You chose perfectly, thank you. What Cove bought made sense, but it was far from a complete selection. You glanced around at the nearby stalls. Want to start over there? Cove followed your eye as you pointed at one of the larger stalls. It was filled with several kinds of staple fruits and vegetables. Yeah, let's go. Once a few people finished paying and moved, you and Cove got directly in front of the shop. There were so many things to pick from. I'm gonna get some apples, some peaches, some carrots, some potatoes. I'm good, that's it. The shop owner put your selection together and handed it to you all in a single bag. Happily, you paid and waited for Cove to make his purchase. Ready to go? Cove grinned, satisfied by his new choices. He had added another bag to his small but growing collection. You nodded.
All right.
Okay, now let's go. Together, you and Cove wandered the market on the lookout for any stalls that caught your attention. Cove was walking around with a spring in his step, talking about the various meal ideas he had in mind. After a while, you had to go greater distances to find something of interest. Several of the stalls were selling the same goods. It was only a matter now of which you wanted to buy from. You continued ambling down the path until Cove disappeared suddenly from your peripheral vision, pulling you away from your thoughts. Cove? You spun around, spotting him some steps back. He was standing still. You followed his eye line past the crowds. Immediately, you knew what grabbed him: homemade jams and local honey. That stall was glittering with quaint glass jars stacked high, each encasing gels of varying colors. Cove's eyes were practically sparkling at the sight. His feet automatically began to take him there, likely without being fully aware he had made an unexplained detour. When you got closer, you were surprised there were even more varieties than you thought. There were even different honeys based on what type of pollen the bees used. Cove's focus seemed torn between a bottle of blackberry jam and one of clover honey. Did you want some honey? Honey, you said, just to tease him? I wonder what on earth you possibly wanted this all. Everything looks really good. You shook your head at him disapprovingly. You quietly left him to his dilemma. Just leave him to his dilemma. Between the shiny jars and all the flavors, everything looked impressively made. You can understand why it was a struggle for him. You thought things over for yourself, too. Clover honey, orange blossom honey, spring wildflower honey, honey butter, strawberry jam, raspberry jam, blackberry jam, apricot jam, blueberry jam, ooh, plum jam, rhubarb jam, and that was everything. Let's do those. You paid, and the shop owner started putting together your order. They carefully packed it in a single bag with paper. Thank you very much. Amused, you watched Cove give in and just buy both the clover honey and blackberry jam. He also went all in, getting spring wildflower honey and plum jam too. The shop owner thoughtfully wrapped each in brown paper to protect them before putting them away in a bag. He handed the purchase to Cove.
Thank you.
You both stepped away from the stall. Cove didn't fail to notice the look you'd been giving him since he agonized over his toast toppers. Hey, this doesn't go bad for a long time, so why not stock up? I could have chosen one if I wanted to. Alright, Cove, it'll be nice to enjoy snacking on it for a while. As you began to stroll, Cove looked up at the sky. He smiled. It was sort of unexpected, considering all of this was technically an errand, and unexpected changes often upset him. But he was happy, and Cove liked doing this kind of normal thing. And you could tell that Cove especially enjoyed doing these kinds of things with you. You were feeling better than you were earlier. You were just feeling down about how the trip turned out. Cove's pleased attitude annoyed you. Whatever, I'm feeling better. I'll just be optimistic, but I still don't understand why they left us. It was going to take a while before you could completely move on from being left in the middle of the market, but with Cove, you were happy. You could smile along with him. I'm glad you're having a good time. We're so domestic. I wonder what the others are doing right now. You remained silent. I'll say that. And you meant it. Cove's good mood was only helping to boost your own, and you were thankful for that.
So?
Are you? Yep. Why does his voice sound deep sometimes, and then other times he's like, yeah, thank you so much. It throws me off. You put an emphasis on the popping P. Pushing P. Oh, shit. Okay, I just pushed a water bottle. I didn't push any P. Cove chuckled at your response, happy to see a change for the better in your mood. Hi, Mingus. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Later, when you spotted a less crowded area, you took a break from browsing. Cove started rummaging through one of his bags just to check on how his goods were doing. A smile grew on his face, and he went on to the next. You chuckled, knowing that Cove wouldn't let anything go to waste. There wasn't a single doubt he was gonna eat it all. You held a hand in front of your face as you squinted upwards. The sun had moved quite a bit. You'd been at the market for a good while now. Neither your feet nor your arms were sore right now, and Cove looked to be doing fine too, but that was something that could be coming. There was a price to pay for this much shopping, and it wasn't always just in money. Can you give me a piggyback ride? Could you carry my things? Want me to carry your bags? Want a piggyback ride? You quietly enjoyed the break from walking. I'll just say that. There was a breeze you just barely noticed in the air, and you contentedly sighed, happy that the weather was cooperative for the market. It made things even better. Hey, want a ride? Staring at him quizzically, you raised an eyebrow. Cove chuckled awkwardly, and his cheeks turned a light shade of pink. He tried again. Piggyback? I mean a piggyback ride. You could take a little rest. I don't mind. Yeah, okay, I'd like that. Thanks, but no thank you. Could you just carry my things? Could you hold my hand instead? No thanks. Can I carry your bags for you instead? Yeah. I don't want to walk. Cool. Cove crouched down low so you could climb on. You pressed yourself against his back and comfortably wrapped your arms around his neck. Once you're in position, he stood. Damn, he close as fuck. Your head steadily rose high above the crowds. It was lifting your spirits, pretty literally. Cove huffed, letting out a breathy laugh. Are you okay? Yeah, just realized this means I'm the one carrying all the bags too, not just you. Should I get down? No, I've got it. I was wondering what he was going to do with the bags because I can't carry it. Hi, Ariella. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Cove took a few test steps and then stopped. He grinned, pleased with himself. Ready to get going? Mm-hmm. Keep an eye out for any good deals while you're up there. You got the best view around. Laughing, you craned your head up to get as high as you could, keeping your hold on him secure. Cove was right. You had a whole new perspective. I'm on it. And with that, you and Cove continued your trip through the market together. Ma and Mom had both texted you during the trip, though only to say that they hoped you'd found some good stuff and that they'd see you later. There were no answers on where they went or why. You and Cove continued to wind your way through the bustling market, the list of outstanding items steadily shrinking while bags grew heavier. As you had an unrivaled view of the market thanks to Cove's height, locating the produce your heart desired had been easy. Carrying every single thing purchased as well as another person made it hard for Cove to check his own phone, so he'd made do without. Eventually, though, he said that he ought to check if anything important had come through, so your ride came to a stop out of the flow of foot traffic and you dismounted his back. Cove rearranged all the bags he was carrying, freeing a hand so that he could pull out his phone. You watched his eyes dart over the screen as he read the waiting messages. Not important, I can reply to that later. He mumbled his verdict under his breath. Then Cove's face scrunched up with confusion. Huh? Wait, I've got a message from my dad. Listen to this. Cove, I wasn't part of the plan. I didn't know what was going on when I left with Rain's mom. Where are you? He sent that ages ago. I didn't hear it come in. He sent another one since then. Says he hopes I'm alright and that he's not bothering me. The newest one says everybody's going to the parking lot soon and we can meet up there. He lowered his phone, eyes narrowed. The same conclusion that was settling on you had landed on Cove as well. So it was on purpose. He lifted the phone again, staring hard at the screen. Didn't my mom pull this stunt when we were little? You know, that time she took us to the mall? At least your mom said that she was leaving. My mom's had a plan. The mall thing was spur of the moment. Is this a mom thing? What your mom did was even worse. Nah, that shit was fun when we went to the mall. I don't remember. You didn't say anything. Nah, that was fun. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Mookie, are you serious? I kind of want to say what his mom did wasn't worse, because she just kind of left us to go, like, we were with all of our friends and she was just kind of like, I'm just gonna let you guys do your own thing, and that was actually fun. This was like some sort of like purposeful thing to see. I don't know what the point of it was. I'm gonna say my mom's had a plan. Yeah, that's true. A crowd of people passing by stayed as noisy as ever, a sharp contrast to the silence that had fallen over you and Cove. He was rubbing the screen of his phone against his shirt, wiping away dust and debris. He continued scrubbing the screen long after anything could have remained. The action, a poor substitute for pushing away the awkwardness of the moment. You felt all right about it all. The whole mess was so upsetting to you. You were furious. You didn't care about what your moms had done. You were struggling to comprehend this. The shock was too fresh for you to even know how you felt. Yeah, the freaking shock is too much. Let me just do this. It had all been deliberate. A part of you had believed it was a misunderstanding. Okay, then, fine. How are you going to explain this? I can't believe them. You sniffed, trying to hold back tears. You groaned the sound, expressing your misery in ways that words couldn't. He laid his eyes on your shoulders, grounding you. Cove's frown grew taut, his mouth a stiff, serious line, but his eyes wide with concern. I'm sorry about your mom's leaving you alone out here like this without warning. His speech was slower than usual. You suspected that he was choosing each word carefully. It was unnatural, but you appreciated that he didn't want to risk upsetting you further. The parents just wanted to see if they were going to buy condoms and then be like, aha. I don't know if you want to talk to them about this, but I can definitely back you up. I totally get that it's sucky. I'm a vent. I didn't want things to be like this, but they didn't even talk about it. I didn't even get a chance to say anything. Cove listened, nodding gently as you unburdened yourself. You then drew a deep breath, the fresh air steadying you. You didn't stop until your lungs were full. Cove watched over you, still concerned.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, even though I guess it's not exactly my fault this time, but is there anything I could do to make you feel better, even a little bit? You already have. You're not the one who can make this better. You shook your head. Hey, aren't I the one that's supposed to help you with your parents? I'll just say you already have. I did? Yeah, you really did. Cove nodded in understanding. He smiled a simple, open, and honest smile, and you knew that he'd accepted your answer. After a moment, he stepped further away from you, face turned. Cove closed his eyes and took a deep breath, his brow creased and furrowed deeper into a scowl, his arms tightly coiling together. So they did do something stupid. I knew it. His voice had taken on an exaggerated quality, but what truly distinguished it from Cove's typical speaking tone was an abundance of rage. This is such a chore. Parents are so dumb. Why do people have to go places with family members anyways? I hate them, and I also hate farmers markets. You got it instantly. It had been years since the boy with the bowl cut had been in town for the summer, but Cove had never forgotten. To this day, he continued to unleash his impersonation whenever the moment felt right. Oh my god. Sometimes you wondered if the act had grown more exaggerated over the years, or if the kid really was always that ridiculous. You burst out laughing, you shook your head at Cove's silliness, you played along, you smiled quietly. That kid is never gonna live that down, huh? You quietly sighed. It is funny. And every time it never failed to crack you up. Cove gave you a lopsided smile, letting the joke rest for now. Come on, we should probably go meet up with the group. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You didn't dally any longer, slipping back into the crowd and making your way towards the entrance of the farmer's market. It didn't take long to reach the parking lot. Your parents, Mr. Holden and Liz, were already... This is so pretty. Were already waiting there, and they waved at you both as you approached. Your own family seemed to be in pretty good moods, in contrast to Mr. Holden. He stared at Cove with open concern as you got closer. Hey, bud. Hey, Rain. How you doing? We'd be doing better if we hadn't been abandoned in a farmer's market by our families. You saw your mom's frowning at his response. Ma glancing from Cove to Mom with blinking eyes. Just because Rain is really laid back doesn't mean you could just leave her out of your plans and expect her to go with it every time. That's right, Cove. Ma hung her head ashamed, and Mom had a hand pressed to her cheek. You could tell they were quickly regretting their scheme.
I'm so sorry.
Her words were full of emotion. Mom squeezed Ma's arm. We were trying to make the errand more of a trip, less of a chore. Ma nodded. We didn't think you, Cove, and Liz wanted to be stuck trudging around a market with your parents all day, especially not in the summer. But you're always very thoughtful, and I don't like to leave your moms behind, so we did ourselves. It was only going to be for the market, not the other stops, I promise. Still, you're right. We could have just told you and let you make your own call. Yeah, like what? I really am sorry. None of us meant to upset you.
I'm really sorry.
All gas, no brakes. We should have known better. Sorry. Ma ditched me too after pulling her urgent potty break stunt, if that helps. I went off to do my own shopping as it seems they planned. Not them ditching all three of us. Y'all should have just said, y'all go do whatever you want. Like, if y'all want to come with us, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Like, the fuck?
Sorry.
Sorry I didn't check back in with you. I wasn't thinking and just tried to blow it off. You quietly took in their stories of what happened. Over to the side, Cove was talking to his dad. Thanks for telling me something was up, though I feel bad for missing the warning when you sent it.
You're welcome.
It's no trouble, sport. I learned my lesson about making surprise plans. Cove smiled at his dad. Mr. Holden, laughing, clapped Cove on the back.
Not bad.
Wow, we're really being outplayed today. You realized you hadn't been the only onlooker to the Holden's moment. Your moms were exchanging rueful looks. Liz had her arms crossed over her chest, patiently waiting for it all to unfold. Yes, looks like it. We better find some way to catch up.
In that case...
Maybe we can do Rain's chores for the next week? Mom jabbed Ma on the shoulder. You might be onto something. Rain, how'd you like the sound of that? They looked at you hopefully. Sounds good to me. Make it 2 weeks. You're gonna have to do more than that. I'll think about it. You don't have to do anything. Make it 2 weeks. Mom laughed despite your totally serious words. I hear you. And at the very least, we can make sure everyone stays together for the rest of the stops we're making today. You all nodded at the suggestion.
Yes.
We won't let you down. We'll be the best sheepdogs ever, guarding the flock and catching any strays.
Funny.
We could at least be shepherds. You chuckled, your mood lifting in spite of the bumpy morning. It was going to be all right. You turned to the entrance for the farmer's market for one final glance, pressing it into your memory under this new light. You thought on what you'd picked up at the market and how you were going to enjoy it later. Some things you could only get from local suppliers like this. That was another perk about coming along to the market today. Cove then sidled up next to you, an eager smile on his face. You could tell from his expression that he was up to something. I know this wasn't part of the plan for the day, but nothing that happened really was, so... You cooked up a scheme of your own? He laughed. Well, anyway, I sort of picked something out with you in mind. You held a hand to your chest, staring at Cove as he explained further. Since your moms decided we should shop separately, I figured I could use the time to get you something, just as a little surprise. He reached into one of his bags and retrieved one of the wrapped up objects. You accepted the unexpected present, and he looked on excitedly as you tore off the paper. It was a glass bottle of ginger ale soda. You didn't need to taste it to know that it would be nice. It was a boutique product. It was heavy in your hands, the container and smart metal cap reaffirming the quality. Even the plastic, constructed from coarse paper rather than a flimsy sheet of plastic, was distinctive. You were practically bouncing in anticipation, and he smiled sweetly at your reaction. It's not a big deal, but I just thought you might like it. I was looking across and I'm like, why are there no cars? I'm gonna say you didn't have to do that. You were touched that Cove wanted to treat you to something nice. Whether you were physically together or not, you were clearly always on his mind and in his heart. Liz clapped her hands together with the air of a teacher calling for attention. Since the other adults aren't acting like grown-ups, the rest of us are going to have to pick up the slack. It's time to get back on schedule and continue with the rest of the errands. Playtime is officially over. She's so pretty. Mom laughed while Mr. Holden grinned awkwardly. Mom hung her head in an exaggerated display of mock defeat. Kids are tough, and I can't even call them kids anymore. Liz tut-tutted with amusement at her mother. Cove shrugged, saying a neutral observer, but the small smile on his face revealed that he was enjoying the conclusion. You laughed, glad that everyone was getting along. That's right. Ooh, gosh. That's right. We're all grown-ups now. With that, your trip to the farmer's market was closed. It was time to move on. There were too many of you for one car, so you and Cove had wound up in Mr. Holden's car on the way over. He figured it made sense to do the same for the next leg of the journey. You sat next to Cove in the back. After buckling in, Cove leaned back in his seat, letting himself be cushioned by the headrest. Once he shifted a little, he appeared to have found the perfect angle for maximum comfort. He gazed out of the window, looking suitably content with the world. You followed suit, hunkering down in your seat and looking out of the window as the car pulled away from the parking lot. You knew Cove well enough to spot the signs of when he was physically present but mentally elsewhere. The way he would fall quiet, staring without seeing, the long blinks, all of which he was doing right now as he looked at nothing in particular. You closed your eyes as you pulled up the resolve to speak. You were miles away for a second. What were you thinking about? Cove idly rubbed at his face. Honestly, I was just thinking about how nice it is to know you. It, makes life better and everything. Though he was turned away from you, his eyes were round and sincere. Not that this is a new revelation, but today was another reminder. I'm lucky. That's so sweet. I feel lucky too. You laughed happily. You blushed. His words stunned you. He peeked at you from the corner of his eye, still too shy to look at you directly. You smiled at him affectionately, eliciting an equally caring smile from Cove in return. You felt content, secure in your relationship with Cove. You decided to enjoy your drink. No, I want my drink. I'll save it. They'd be spicy? Driver from backseat. It was clearly special. You intended to make sure you gave it the attention it deserved. You spent the rest of the day completing the remaining errands all together as a group. You had enjoyed your brief independence. You were glad that you closed the day with everyone. I enjoyed it, but just don't do that shit again. It might not have come about under ideal circumstances, but it had provided you with an opportunity to spend time making your own choices. You felt that you'd risen to the challenge. Yes. I feel like these two parts were kind of like long. Is that just me? But it is starting to get dark, as you guys can see here. It's getting a little dark. The sun is starting to set outside. And we have been streaming for like 2.5 hours, which I think is good. And it's funny that I thought that we were going to finish this today. That is hilarious. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and save it here. And then we'll jump back into this next time. I kind of like doing this like early Saturdays. Like maybe we can make this a thing. Maybe we can make this a thing. But it's a headband. Thank you though. It's a headband. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Be sure to leave a like on the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. We will be back with more Our Life. We have actually a lot more to go. We have a lot more to go, guys. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of you guys for being here. I might do a stream later today. I really don't know. I'm just gonna kind of do it based on how I'm feeling. If I do a stream later, I might do some Cyberpunk or something we haven't really played, or maybe something else, like maybe, I don't know. I don't know, maybe some Jackbox or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what I'm in the mood for. It could be something completely random and new. I don't know. We'll figure it out though. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you guys finish your freaking hot cocoa if you haven't, if you have any. And I will see you guys next time. Hold on, let me see. What song do I want to end on? I like this song. We're gonna end on this one. But have a great rest of your evening, guys. Your afternoon, your evening, your morning, whatever time it is where you are. And I will see you guys next time. And like I said, might stream later tonight. I don't know. But my conclusion from this part, by the way, is Cove is growing on me. He's definitely growing on me, but like, I don't know. I kind of feel like sometimes I'm just like, bro, he's kind of like my friend. Like, I don't know. I gotta see what happens with like all the other characters. I definitely need to see. Because I don't know if something's going on with him and Terry. I don't know what's gonna happen with Baxter. I want to see what happens when Derek when and if he returns, you know. So I'm really interested in seeing what happens. But we'll see. We'll see next time. But make sure you guys, Cove is like a brother, oh my gosh. But yeah, make sure you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time.